last we played, we had ambushed the ambushers. This guy is clearly dead. That was for some testing we were doing, so he's dead. We had the ambushers, and we managed to defeat a bunch of them, and we even threw one down the like the side, and then we threw a rock on him, and that's kind of where we left off.
Can I do a quick check just to make sure he is actually dead? Just because all we heard was a thunk last time and a groan.
Yeah, you can look over the edge and roll perception.
It's a 16 total.
So from where you are, like you see the boulder at the bottom, and then you can see like an arm and a leg standing like the boulder is kind of like circular, and like on the bottom half of it, you can see like an arm, a leg, like sticking out of it, and there's like a little blood pooled.
I think he's dead.
So that's what you can see. So from this point, it's up to y'all where we want to go. We can either, you know, try to, and I think we were talking about it in a different map. So let me go ahead and get that map so we can.
I think the last thing we were wanting to do was check the bodies. We didn't get a chance to before we left.
Oh,
Think,
yeah. Go ahead and yeah, that sounds great. You can roll for investigation.
could I get? Maybe I help investigate?
Gray will look for the bodies. Yeah,
Thanks, Gray.
that's that. Like I think that would be a thing that he would do.
Cool. And how about me and Chrome? Is that also something we can do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Gray, I thought you did this for a living.
Right?
Your parents would be so disappointed.
And they are. Why do you think he's doing that entire? Why do you think he's traveling like this?
I just imagine him, like walking past the dirty dishes, and his mom's like, "Gray, didn't you notice the dirty dishes that need to be done?" He's like, "Mom, I'm doing my best."
That's funny. Sweet. Yeah. So through these guys, and like this, it wasn't like super tough. You don't find any insignias or anything like that, but you find. We'll do. Hold on. That's funny. The veteran wasn't supposed to be rolling that. But you find one gold piece, one silver piece, and one copper piece.
Well, I'll go put that in our group loot, y'all.
Sounds good.
Okay. So where do we want to go from here?
So, when we last talked, there was the southern group. I think this is northwest.
Yeah,
group.
let me go ahead and redraw that because I knew it was going to come up. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't come up, but I knew it was going to happen.
It's okay. I took pretty decent notes on that. I can.
Well, and I know we had the three groups that went like kind of like this. I'm drawing it in blue. So, and then the ambushers were, let's say, around here. The other part of the group came this way. The main group goes this way to camp. And we went around this way and ambushed them.
Right. So what we have left is advancing towards the main group.
Yeah.
Which could be anywhere between 200 and 400 guys.
Correct.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do we know any dragons that we could hire that could make short work of them?
You know, we can always look. Copious notes out the window. Who cares?
There you go.
We will go find a damn good dragon.
Pretty sure we don't have enough coin or gems to hire a dragon.
Yeah, but
Not yet.
they might.
Ooh.
We know that they're hoarding gems, and we could just say, "Hey, that's a lot of gems." You know, you don't even have to take us with you. Just go
Just go take 'em.
introduce yourself. Yeah, it's all yours.
Hey, possibility.
We'll deal with that dragon. It's like hiring the cat to get the mouse that you hired to get the frog that you hired to get the fly.
Yeah.
Well, just
That's
dragons
true.
all the way down this bitch.
Oh my god. Okay. I think the question now is which way do y'all want to see? Because from where you're standing, this pass and this is kind of like a pass, right? Like I'm kind of drawing like you have a pass kind of like this that the army went through kind of like in the middle. You don't see it going down, so you can either kind of like backtrack a little bit the same way that this group broke off right here, or you could see stay on the high ground and see what happens.
I'm definitely all for staying on the high ground.
Yeah, I agree with that. Better line of sight, man.
Yeah, I don't want to commit Anakin's mistakes. I'll learn from them.
Yeah, amen. That's the
But,
truth.
this is one, ambush party. Who's to say there's not more?
Yeah.
Sure.
And while we're doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and use a second wind, man. Not breaking wind. I'm not gonna use that ability, but just
Okay.
get myself some more hit points real quick.
That's good.
Cool. Cool.
Acer, do you have a second healing potion? I feel like you had two.
I think I had some. Let me double check and see.
I know you drank one last time, but I don't know if you got two.
I did not drink one. I did the short rest, and I regained
Oh,
hit
that's
points.
true.
So I do have two
That's
of
true.
them. So if you guys need
Cool.
some, I've got two.
Cool.
Well, no, it sounds good. All right. So, I'm not even gonna make y'all roll for this because this is actually not too bad. But, and we'll just move up to here. What is that? Oh, pass. Got it.
And then this was
I
the
was like,
main
what is
army. Is that right?
Yeah, that would be like about the main army. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Pencil. Okay, so you continue traveling with this. So we travel west, and then this path goes north. So you continue traveling like along the side of this path, and as you keep going and going and going, like 10 minutes go by, and you still can't see anything or anybody. There's no other posts. There's no other people. And like there's no other ambushers. That's what I was trying to say. Not like there's no other people. There's no other ambushers. And as you continue making your way, like 20 minutes go by, and then when you start hitting that 25, 30-minute mark, you start hearing things. They're below you, mind you, but you start hearing things.
What kind of things?
What do y'all choose to do?
What kind of things are we hearing, buddy?
Just like the bustling and hustling of people.
Oh, okay. We can tell it's folks. Okay, I got you.
Yes. Sorry. Like you can't make out specifics, but you can hear like the hustle and bustle of people. You hear like what you could assume are potentially carts and heavy footfalls and people moving and mobilizing and stuff like that.
Okay. Legolas,
And-
what's your L5C?
This is not like a set area, right? Like on the map. Like this is not like an expected settlement, is what I mean to say.
No, I think if we're looking at like the idea that Anth sent us a picture last time we played. At some point, somewhere, I'll find. Maybe, yeah. If you scroll up, I'll pin it on our chat so you can get to it quickly. But if you look at the pin, like you are in the wood of the sharp teeth. So you're in those woods. It's a little bit like an even kind of like we're talking about like those Tennessee hills, right? Like they're wooded, but they're hills. So you're
Okay.
kind of there, but it's not like it's not the middle of a city. If that helps put things into perspective.
Well, so then we don't expect there to be any sort of city there. Like
Correct.
we can kind of safely assume that these are not the good guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, since we're, at the top of the pass, one of us could kind of creep over to the edge to kind of look down, to see what is down there. I'm not the
Um,
stealthy one,
Yeah.
so
Gray is gonna don one of the cloaks that he collected from one of the people that we trapped, or no, that we haven't trapped, but like one of the people we defeated. Like he collected one of those cloaks, so he's gonna put the cloak on. And he wants to go look.
Okay, I'm not going to go with him, but I'm going to follow his lead and put that cloak on.
Okay, so two people have cloaks. Uh,
I'll put mine on as well then.
yeah, I'll put mine
you have
on as
yours.
well.
Okay, everybody has cloaks. Perfect. Whoever wants to look over the edge, like I think, like whoever wants to look over the edge, let me know, and then we can roll perception.
I will as well.
Nice. All right. Um, so as you look over the edge, the first thing that grabs your mind is this path like this path that you're following right from the trees and on the ground. You can see it on the grass. It's like the grass that's there. It's super trampled. You can clearly see that like hundreds of people have walked past it. Some of them have tire tracks on it from cars. Some of them, some of the trees you see have kind of like the few sporadic trees that are in this path have actually been shifted in different directions. Some are shifting in towards the wall. Some of them are shifted in towards the path, as if like something moved them out of the way, but just either the heavy traffic or the heavy-footed people that have walked through this. And you start seeing kind of like the rear of the army, the farther up you look. Um, and I call it an army, but like this group of people, you start seeing the backside of it. And as you're looking, you see that this path actually goes straight and then it kind of like curves and ends completely. Um, and at the mouth of this path, like at the very, very end, right before you hit the back wall, you see what looks like a crackling source of energy that it's like from where you are you can see it's like a circle and there's like a little crackling of energy around it uh and the other part you can see I'm looking at the rolls, and then aside from that little crackling part of energy at the bottom, like on the very very back, you can see that not everybody like walking to this crackling energy, like they kind of walk to it and disappear, and then just and you see them on the other side of the crackling energy. So it's like the wall, the circle of energy, and then you can see something on the other side of the energy that doesn't match up what the wall like. There's no wall, but you can see like something inside of it. And what's walking towards this thing, it's a like you have way more than just humans and kobolds. You can see there are kobolds, you can see there are humans, but on the very outside edges of this group, you can see elves, dwarves, orcs, ogres, bugbears. You can see that it's not just humans and kobolds.
Good lord, man.
That doesn't seem good.
Yeah, that changes things up.
You're welcome.
You throw bugbears and everything else into it. Yeah, we need an army of our own to fight the army.
Well, hold on a minute. That's actually kind of good news because we happen to be a group of humans, elves, or half elves, dwarves, and half orcs. And we have robes. And in a group that big, there's no way that everybody knows everybody by face, especially one that's been split for a while, right? Like, they've gone multiple different directions, they've done different things. This might even be a conglomeration of different groups now that have met up, from the around surrounding areas. I think we could probably walk our way in. Just the getting into the group unseen is going to be challenging because if they see 4 people just striding up in their cloaks, they're going to have questions. But if we're already in that group, they're probably going to assume that we belong, assuming we don't draw unwarranted attention to ourselves.
Are the elves, dwarves, the other humanoid races, are they wearing the cloaks or no?
Some of them are, and I say that like what distinction you see from them doesn't necessarily see from like specific features. I don't think, and I did not ask the question, so let me know how close do you want to be to this? I think what I was talking about bugbears and elves and all these things, it's because you can see the different of height and build and everything, and you can make a general idea of what it is. Um, but some of them are wearing cloaks, some of them are not. But I was not assuming that we were so close that you can see all those features right now and then. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Now, if, like I said, if I made a mistake and we want to be way closer than we are, absolutely, you see it. I just want to kind of clarify that point.
I think we should be a respectable distance away that, hopefully they would avoid seeing us for now, just so that we have some options.
Bumpy, what are your thoughts?
So right now, I don't see anything because I didn't sneak up there because I roll with disadvantage on stealth, so I'm just trying not to screw up
Oh,
and
good point.
make noise while they're doing their thing. So I'm just kind of sitting back and wait until they.
Perfect. Thank you.
Well,
Absolutely.
my question on that is, are we close enough that a stealth check would matter as far as like, there's not a way in my mind, depending on how close we are, that they're going to be able to hear us for like.
No, there isn't necessarily like the necessity for a stealth check, but like I respect that Bumpy wants to stay back because
Okay.
he doesn't want something to go bad.
Yeah, for sure.
So how
I'm
deep
not
is this
asking.
canyon that they're in?
About 20 feet deep.
Okay, so it's not too deep.
Can we determine if there's any sort of power source maybe for the electrical sparky sparks?
Not from
anything
the
that
rolls.
looks to be like funneling that? Okay.
No, not from the rolls we got. There's too many things blocking and too many people walking towards it. It's just too much.
Next question is there any place that would be an easy place to kind of like sneak in, or are they kind of protected and have watchers on all sides? Are they watching? Do we see any scouts or guards posted anywhere that look obvious?
Nope. No, not at all. And I think Gray is going to turn towards Crom and Acer and just bluntly say, I think Acer's right in the sense of they don't seem to be checking who's walking in. So honestly, as long as we have a somewhat believable story as to why we're behind, there were stragglers, and there was a group that was supposed to ambush. So as long as we just mention that we're one of those, I think we're fine.
We could even say that there was a group of, do-gooders from Greenest that we ambushed on the past. and the rest of our group is like meeting up or whatever, or maybe there was a battle and some of our group got killed and we're just whatever's left of that ambushing group. Something along those lines. I mean, I think it's believable, it's plausible, and there's so many people here that I think that it's
Yeah, I mean, with
benefit
the
of the
different,
doubt.
yeah, I agree with the different races and everything. Shouldn't be too hard for us to, join the group in whichever method we can, and kind of to see what's going on.
I'm having a thought, and that thought is
Hold on to that thought for a minute. So, Gray is going to say, like, right before you say your thought, Gray is going to be like, okay, I'm going to go tell Bumpy what we've seen and part of the plan. And he's going to walk towards you, Bumpy, and tell you kind of what they've seen, the plan, the ideas, get your input. So while you're collecting your thoughts, go ahead and tell us your idea, Wesley.
my thought is we searched the bodies, we didn't find anything. What if, in the most impossible of circumstances, the guy that's under the rock has like the insignia or the paper that we needed, and then we could prove that would be our invitation. Like, oh yeah, this is us. This is the invitation we got. Do we think we need to go back down and?
Well, I think that's a good idea because we need to find a way down anyway. So
Okay, so while y'all are saying that, Bumpy and Gray, are there any questions, thoughts that you have, Bumpy?
No, man. I think what they're saying makes a lot of sense, man.
Um, all right, so how do y'all want to, kind of like backtrack, or like, do you want to backtrack? Do you want to scale this thing down? What's your?
Does it look like the whole group is going into what I'm assuming is a portal, and they're like packing up and leaving, or is it just people coming and going?
Everybody's going. So nobody's coming. Everybody's going into what you could assume is a portal. Yes.
Okay. How long have we been traveling? Because I think at this point, getting back.
it's about 20 minutes.
Yeah, about 25, 30 minutes.
And we could probably move faster because I would imagine us making this leg this way, we're more cautious and slow to make sure we didn't come across any more ambushers.
Yeah, that's fair. We could probably, do it quickly.
You, and this would be Gray. Gray mentions we do have rope if we just want to scale this thing down, and obviously not scale down right on top of them where everybody sees it, but we don't have to go all the way back if we don't want to.
But
Okay.
I like the idea of investigating the one body to see if there's anything on there that would better guarantee us adoption into the group.
We just have to hope it's
Sounds
not
good.
smashed into a billion pieces.
There is that too. But I think scaling down the wall might be a little suspicious if anybody sees this, but
What?
it's a gamble.
If we do that, I think we should move like 10, 15 minutes down or something. Just not do it here, but just kind of backtrack a little bit and then scale down. I think that'd probably be better, but I also don't know.
I'm good with that. How about you, Bumpy?
Yeah, I'm down.
Cool.
So then
So
we're backtracking
walking
to the
back
ambush?
15
Or?
minutes and then scaling down, or are we walking all the way to the body?
No, so we go about half the distance to the body.
See the body? Great. Okay, so you walk back, and you walk back. You're 30 minutes to like the ambush. You get to like the ambush side, and then it takes you like another like 15 minutes to kind of like if we're looking at the map, right? You see the ambush here in that circle. So it takes you like an extra 15 minutes to get back to where like you're actually on even footing, kind of with the beginning of this path. Where it's when you can follow this track where like the people separated again. And then you just start following the path, and about a little bit longer, like you make your curve and everything, and as you make the curve, you see the rock that you pushed, and there's still an arm, a leg, and blood.
All right, let's roll that over and just check his body really quick, and then let's try to hurry, because I have a feeling that they're probably moving through that portal at not a slow speed. Not that they have anything to worry about, but They seem like they're on a mission.
Oh, y'all went all the way down to the body? I thought y'all said y'all was going halfway.
I thought so too, but I asked clarification, and that's what I understood. Did I get this right?
No, Mike straight told you we were going halfway, buddy.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
I missed that too. Sorry, guys.
That's
Okay.
all right, bud.
So we walk halfway down, halfway down, and then we're gonna climb the side with the rope, right? And then if we can see the body, then we'll go investigate it. Am I getting that right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, hey, y'all want to secure this going down, and we'll do some athletics rolls after that. The way that we describe how we're securing the rope or how we're going down gives us advantage or not. That's really what it is.
Gotcha. Well, is there like a large tree or a well-planted rock to tie the rope off on?
Yeah, we got
Both of them are there, yeah. The rock doesn't seem so secure, but the tree looks pretty good.
All right. So I've got 50 feet of rope, so I'll tie one end to the tree so we can scale down with it.
Awesome. So for laughing sake, I'm gonna make y'all roll like athletic. Yeah, we'll do athletics with advantage because you have a rope, you're working together and everything. But just in the off chance of a 1, that's really what I'm rolling for right here.
It's cruel.
Oh, damn, there were no 1s. Okay, yeah, no, we make it all the way down. This was great. Thanks.
Woo-woo.
awesome.
But yeah, so you manage to work together as a team. You tie off the rope, you make it, you get it situated, you go all the way down. The rope is twice the length of this pass or this cliff, so you can save about half your rope if you would like.
But of course.
Sweet,
I
yeah,
think I've got 50 as well if we need it for later.
yeah. Well, apparently, rope is the most useful thing. So,
Well,
Um,
and gentlemen, we I believe that if you have maybe the Dungeoneers or the Explorers pack, your rope comes with pittons, and those pittons are removable. That way you can save all your rope.
that's true.
I think I have a dungeoning pack. Let me double check.
I believe that's a part of that equipment. Just for the future, so you don't lose your equipment and stuff.
Yeah, I do have a dungeoning pack with pittons.
Cool. Then
So-
you don't lose any of your rope. You have the removable pittons.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Nice.
You could surf.
Well brought, Ant. Like that's a really good
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thanks, man.
like that's a it's a good thing to bring up. So awesome.
It makes sense. He's a dwarf. He's got all the metal knowledge. Like he's got the caltrops. He's got the pittons.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
got the
for-
nerves of steel. I mean, he's got all the metal things.
Bumpy's really Batman. Like you've never seen him in the same room, but he's got the weapons, the knowledge. He's got it.
He's just very grumpy, like Batman, I guess, and extraordinarily loud. So, like Mad Max.
Oh, I
Grumpy.
like that. Yeah, yeah, that's perfect.
There you go.
Again, so from where you are, you can't really see the body, although you know it's along this wall. So you can walk a little bit farther down and then try to see it if you can find it, or we can move up to the portal, whatever you want to go.
Do we really think that there's something on that body? And also, is it even salvageable?
Yeah, bro, I think that body gonna be underneath that boulder.
Yeah, I think we give up on the body
And I
investigation
think you
there.
may have made a point that we want to get there before they all get inside that portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking for a dude named Leosin, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess, we're trying to get through that. I mean, do y'all think we're going to have to jump through that portal, bro?
I think it's a pretty good possibility.
Yeah. I think so too.
I guess here we go. So, should we just like saunter in there like we know what we're doing?
I think we go in kind of like as quietly as we can and just try not to draw any heads.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. So you continue, like now you start moving north again, right? So you came south, you're going back north. And as you're walking up north, yeah, you start seeing like these different groups, and the closer you get, the closer you get to see that there are indeed bugbears, kobolds, humans, elves, dwarves. Uh, Man, like majority of the races that you can see, they're here. There are ogres, orcs, um, half orcs. There's a little bit of everything, and the closer you get, you just start noticing how truly diverse this group that you're kind of joining is.
Is this your way
Um,
of saying racial diversity is evil? Is that where we're going with this?
oh yes,
Okay, because I can't stand on that position, man.
I think what we're going for actually is, the hoarding and collecting of amassing wealth is the ultimate evil because that's what's bringing everybody here, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
Capitalism is the ultimate enemy.
the ultimate enemy. That's funny.
Or straight piracy, you know.
True. Um, and as you get closer and closer to the group, you can see there's probably about 50 people that still need to cross this portal. And as you're getting closer, you see a couple of shapes that you couldn't see before. But you see the portal, it's held like at the very bottom of this little closure, right, or this little end of the mountain pass. And you can see three red robed figures who are kind of like with their hands on the ground, and their hands are kind of like shining a little bit, and you can see that that little light that comes off their hands kind of like connects into a web, um, and creates this portal. And specifically, you, Bumpy, you feel the closer and closer you get to this, you can see and feel the manifestation of the weave of magic. And you can clearly tell that this portal is very intricate, especially for your level, like of knowledge. But as you're getting closer and you get this feel and pull of the weave, you're getting a better understanding of some things that you could potentially do in the future with like the weave around you, if that makes sense.
Okay, so I'm a fifth grader looking at algebra.
Right, right,
Got you, bro.
exactly.
Got you, bro.
Yeah, where you're like, oh, I can clearly see where I'm going. I just can't do it yet.
Got you. Do I know what Thayans are? The
You know
red
what?
road
Do a
monkey.
history check.
Okay, because
Yeah, do.
that's what these guys kind of sound like. Let's see here, history. Yeah, he's not an idiot, so I stand a decent chance on this. Well, that's a 21.
Man, okay, so this actually. All right, so this actually hit a little bit home. Um, as you're walking closer and closer to these people, and you see these red robe figures there, it not only does it remind you of who these people are, but it reminds you of a time where you were shackled and forced to work for people. And it reminds you of the time that you had spent with the drow. Because while you were with the drow, you remember the one time that you saw a red robe person go in there. And to make it even more complicated, uh, you remember that out of the drow that you had met, everybody kind of like deferred and knew that this red robe could kill them on the spot. Like that was the level of intensity and fear that you could feel at that moment. Um, except for the leader of the drow where you were, if that makes sense. So this hits home. You absolutely know who they are,
So I know that they're
and
Thayans? Is that what you're saying?
am I saying what?
Do I know if they're Thayan?
Yes, you absolutely know that they're Thayan
Okay,
because
sweet, sweet.
while you were there, you listened to them like as you were working, you heard them like you heard the captors talk, and as they were talking, you heard them say, "Oh, the Thayan is here. Oh, I hope he doesn't stay here long. We don't like those people."
Gotcha.
outsiders. Um, but it is something. It was a memory that was locked deep within you that you hadn't uh, revisited in a long time. But just seeing the red robes, three of them at all, like above this, and feel the pull of the weave of magic, just brings this memory coming back to you.
Okay, man, I'm gonna say real low to the rest of the party. Hey, look, these are red robes from Thay. I mean, these guys are powerful. They're dangerous. Like, we really got to watch ourselves around them.
I'll say, okay, let's definitely be careful. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely understand.
Well
What I'm
done.
saying.
Yeah,
Um,
they're gender neutral. It's not him or her. It's they. So
Can we have a quick aside and try to determine why Faye would be interested in helping dragons?
well, they're notoriously power hungry and evil.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes
Like
sense.
they're notorious across Western Toril and the Forgotten Realms thing.
Okay.
Yeah, super shitty is kind of what you might
there's
say.
if I answered that question, I'd be giving stuff away, man.
Okay.
Oh, bro. So like, did y'all see the D&D movie that come out?
That's the only experience I have with Faye. I haven't really
Yeah.
seen much of it.
They're like a whole like small nation of fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I also know that they're big on necromancy.
yeah, they like all it's whatever kind of magic brings them power. That's what they like.
Yeah. And I mean, and if we're talking about like, outside of our adventure, because and I guess like this is my moment to do my disclaimer because I haven't done my disclaimer in a while. But like I know there's knowledge of Fae, and then there's like Matia's version of Fae, so like it may be a little bit different to what you've read or seen or do whatever, right? So there's my disclaimer. I'm not gonna go and read, 50 years of Fae history just so that I can accurately represent them in my book, in my story,
Oh, you're
or
good.
in our story. However, for funsies, yes, they also follow like they're into necromancy just because they follow like they all want to live forever, and so that a lot of them like turn into um, liches.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds like Faye about that life.
Yeah,
They
yep,
say
yep.
about that life for sure. They definitely don't. They definitely don't know YOLO.
Okay. I'm done with the Faye puns. I won't make any more.
No, please continue.
I can't think of any more that are good.
All right. Yeah. So this is everything you've seen. You see the portal. You see the connection. What do you just like? Do you want to um, come in, or what? I guess I'm trying to gauge where we're going from here.
So like, if y'all want to, as an excuse to get through this portal, y'all can like tie me up and say I'm like a prisoner. But then you would have to take my weapons, and that would suck.
I think since we've seen dwarves here, I think we just keep you around. I mean, I think that they've hired mercenaries because the other guys that we've talked to, that we interrogated, they were basically sellswords, right?
Mm-hmm. Some of them, not all of them.
Well, yeah. I just mean like if
Bit
there's.
like, I think what I'm trying to say is a lot of the people you've seen are like they're all believers, but some of them are hired and paid. So you don't know if they're there because they believe it, like or like they're in it for the money and the power and the recognition, or they're there for money.
Yeah.
But they all kind of like believe on what this group is doing. We just haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet.
Well, it's like, you remember all the witch hunt evil things they told you about Soviet Russia when you were a kid? I'm not saying those
Sure.
things are true, but that's what the Thayans are. It's just a nation full of fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay, so you start walking, and as you're getting closer and closer and closer, nobody's paying attention to you. Like nobody even cares that you are uh, walking up the rear and everything. In fact, like you get closer and closer, and you actually like get to the back of the group, and people just kind of like turn around. And they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they just keep on waiting for their turn.
Are they all
Well,
lined up in a line going through the portal, or is this just like a big group?
It's a big group. Like you have a group, and then it just funnels in at the end. The portal is also like pretty big. Like I would say the portal is about say about 20-ish feet wide. Like it's a very big portal for people to funnel in.
Okay.
so like a yeah 20-foot diameter circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe like a circle is not even like the right shape. Like maybe more like an oval. Just because like a circle would still like have that little tiny going up thing, and people would still have to go through the middle. So maybe it's more like an oval.
Do we see like so like I know we got this group of people trying to get into this portal. Are there
Hmm.
any like buildings or cages or anything where this dude Leosin might be?
Not from where you are. Not here.
Oh, so he probably on the other side or something.
Uh, that would be a safe assumption. You are at this point, y'all are kind of like in the back of the group, so I'm not telling you what to do, but there's people to ask questions if you want.
I think if we just approach kind of someone who doesn't necessarily look important, and we can say something along the lines of, or I can say it if you guys want me to, something along the lines of like, I'm new here, don't really know what's going on. Can you fill me in? Do we think that's a good idea?
Man, look, the only like I feel like our the primary quest is finding this Leosin guy, right? And uh and so I feel like if we're gonna ask questions, maybe they should be targeted in that direction somehow. Like I know I'm not communicating very well. Like if
Well,
we
but I don't want
say
to. I don't want to raise suspicions either if
yeah,
we ask the wrong questions to the wrong person.
That's what I was
like
thinking too.
well like we gotta have a story while we're there. We could if we played that we were slavers and we wanted to make a bid on some of the prisoners, maybe that would be one good way of finding out where they keep those dudes.
That's also not a bad idea. Well, if you guys want, we can try it, and I'll do the
I mean, we
charisma
might even
checks.
be able to just straight up purchase the guy and teetotal on out of here before they realize we're not legit.
Yeah, I'll let you guys do the talking because yeah,
Yeah. Well, like I have a charisma of 9, and so if Bumpy starts opening his mouth to other people, it's gonna go south quick.
yep.
I, I mean, I can get across that general idea. There's the
I'm
one
just a
thing
hired. I'm just a hired missile.
I've been thinking about this since our try to ambush the people in the church. That Acer the player is not very charismatic or good on his feet, but Acer the character is.
Okay, so I will say this: Acer, the character, was doing like so. Mike, just to catch you up, they were trying to spring a trap in a church, and Acer, the character, did really good, but I just wanted to see how big of a hole you were gonna dig if I didn't say anything. So you just kept adding things over
Yeah,
and over. And at some point, the trap didn't really work out because you just kept talking and talking.
yeah. I need to get better at letting the player character play itself when it's appropriate. Like I'm not actually out here swinging great swords. The character's gonna do that. So I don't think I can come up with the very specific, believable lies without metagaming that are
Well, no,
going to
no,
work for the situation.
that's where me and you work well together because my charisma is shit, but my intelligence is 17,
It's true.
right? So I can come up with a plan, tell it to you, and then you can create it. You know what I mean? Like I'm the director and you're the actor.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I've never seen Michael Bay in a movie. You know what I mean? So or Martin Scorsese. They don't act for shit.
Well, I don't know if they have self cameoed. I think.
I'm just saying I haven't seen it. So
Oh, well, you've been in prison by drow for 200 years. You probably haven't
well,
seen a
that's
lot.
true. That's what, man. That's a good point, bro. So I can't even hate on you for that.
So
Yeah,
there's about at this point, as y'all are having like all these discussions as to what are we gonna do and how we're gonna say and everything, there's about 25 people left to go through the portal. So about half of the people that And I know y'all are on the back. I'm assuming y'all are hanging out back and kind of like talking quietly. But I'm telling you, like 25 people have made it through, and there's only 25 people left aside from y'all.
Oh, so they're going in quick, bro.
Yeah, we've also been like kind of like talking and doing that. So like they are going fairly quick.
Oh, I
But
wasn't questioning you, bud. I want you to feel like I was questioning you, man.
yeah, no, thank you, I appreciate that. But yeah, they're going kind of quick. But it's
Really,
also because just like the end.
really
Yeah.
quick, before we
Go
get too far off on it, because it's really good. Um, when we were talking about that movie director, we should have called him Michael Thay.
That's so much better. You know what? Well done, sir.
Okay,
That was
that's
just for the recording later. I know that.
that's the last one.
So I'd say since we're coming at the end of the group and they're passing through the portal, we just bring up the rear and then once we get through this thing, um, we discuss what our next plan of action is.
Okay, fair enough, man.
And I think that the other good part, in fact, um, can everybody roll a perception check, please? Because I think this is gonna benefit everybody and get people. Uh, Man, y'all rolled awesome. Um, so from where you are, and as you're walking closer to this like oval portal that takes you to the other side, and you're looking at it, you can actually. I'm telling you, it looks small. It looks really, really far away. But from where that portal leads, you can see what you can safely assume to be greenest.
There's a portal leading to Greenest. Is that what we're saying?
It's no. Where the portal drops you off. So like you walk through the portal,
Yeah.
and from the port, I'm saying really far away. Like I'm not even gonna give you all a distance just because I don't want that to come back to haunt me next session where I'm like, you walk for like X amount of miles and you're like, well, last session you said it was only 2, right? But like really far away, you can see what because y'all roll so high as a perception, you can safely assume that that town in the far distance that you see is greenest.
Oh man, so that could be like 20, 25 miles, y'all.
So they're going through the portal and they're coming out close to Greenus. Is that
Yep.
what you're saying? Like semi-close, close-ish, within viewing
What I'm
distance.
telling, what I'm trying to explain here, and I think this is the bottom line. The bottom line is they're not transporting you to Thay to where you're gonna be like, oh, we're going through this portal. The fuck were we going? Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they're staying within a
Oh,
certain bubble. Like you can see greenest.
okay. I
Does
got you.
that kind of help you
Yeah.
make a decision as to whether you want to go through or not?
I think we go through and see if we can't start trying to find Leosin. Gray recognizes him, right? Like he would know what he is. I think.
Uh, yeah, he's met him once or twice, but not like they're not BFFs. But he has met him once or twice, so he could recognize him. Yes.
Well, I guess in a more general sense, he would know what race he is, what gender he presents, what kind
Oh
of
yeah,
way
I
he
mean,
presents himself, right?
y'all were given that information before we left. He is an elf, very nimble, uh, and he's very light on his feet. Very like what I'm trying to say is he's not a big elf. Like he's nimble, slender, black hair, has a trim beard from the like few times that like from what y'all heard back in Greenest from Soren, who asked for y'all to look for him.
Okay.
So you know kind of what he looks like.
So then, with the small amount of people that's left on this side, I think our best plan is to walk through
Yep.
and do the, slaver asking about prisoners thing and see if we can't find him there.
I love it.
If there's other
Cool.
options, I'm definitely down to hear those because I'm not
No,
the
it
plan
seems
maker.
like that's where it's carrying us.
Yep, that works for me.
All right,
Okay.
let's roll out.
So you get closer and closer and closer, and as it's your time to go through the portal. Bumpy, you look around, and the pool of the weave here of the magic, like it's kind of like you were saying, right? Like you're a fifth grader looking at algebra, and like you don't know exactly how this is getting done, but you're absorbing the potentiality of magic that these people are casting.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so you go through, and I'm doing this for each one of y'all, so just wait. But Bumpy, you go through and you feel your air leaving your like the air in your lungs just completely leave, and you can't catch your breath. But you look around, you manage to open your eyes, look around, and you're for a microsecond you're involved by the weave and the creation of magic, and you can see and kind of look at patterns. And as soon as you start making patterns of things that sound interesting, boom, it finishes and you're on the other side of this. So you didn't
Oh, damn,
quite
bro.
grasp it, but you've seen a little bit of like how the weave comes together. Um, for you, Acer, as you're getting closer and closer and closer, with these three people there, you hear in your mind the voice that says, kill them now and take their power. This will be wonderful." Uh, but you don't feel like you hear the voice, but you don't feel compelled to do anything.
I was about to say, voice, you got kill them now money because we've got kill them now at home, and you can just wait.
You don't feel compelled, but you hear them. You hear it, and you make it through. And in your case, Chromis, you're making it through. Um, your connection is a little bit different in what you can see, like what you feel at this particular moment because of the junction of magic and power. You feel how the best way to describe it is you can see that this oval shape feels like the earth has been like kind of like an accordion, like the earth got compressed so you can go from one place to the next very quickly, and it kind of feels a little weird to like your senses that the earth could be distorted that way. um but you feel that, and you can clearly see like the amount of energy that these people are putting into this. And when you make it through, you as well as Acer both lose the air that you were like holding it like in your lungs, and you make it through, and you are now the weather is a little bit colder, and where you're standing as you look around. Or let me start with the other part. So all four of y'all make through, and as soon as you make it through, you turn around and see these three shapes that have their hands on the ground stand up very regally. They clap their hands, and the portal goes and it closes. If you want to get one last look at them, if y'all roll a perception check with a DC 17, I will tell you more information, but it's up to y'all. If not, we can keep moving forward.
Yeah, it can't hurt to try.
My elf eyes don't see very well.
Crumb, you notice as like the portal is closing and closing, you get one last look at one of these robed figures. He looks at you and you make eye contact with him. They wink, snap, and all three disappear as the portal finishes closing up.
Interesting.
That
Um,
can't be good.
where you are now is so you're atop, or not atop, but you're at the foot of a mountain. This mountain has, and I will kind of show you what this looks like. It is not necessarily up to scale, but I'll show you what it looks like. So you are here. We'll draw this way right down here so you kind of see. So you're here. This path goes up into the mountain. So like these rocks here on the sides are going up. and everybody's kind of like walking to this path and making their way to what you can see. I don't have a better camp, so this is the. What's up?
I don't see it. I don't know if anyone
Yeah,
else
I don't
does.
see, a black void.
Thank you so much for letting me know.
Did you forget our
We did?
actors?
You know what? I forgot the actors, and I think I also forgot to put light on this map. So that may be causing everything.
Well, I have
And now I
super dark
see,
vision.
I see like a
Wrong map.
path with some barricades, and that's it.
Let me see what you can see. Yes, perfect. Okay, so you can see that path. Yeah, this is I actually like what y'all can see. Yeah, so you can see the path. Like I said, it goes up, so you can't really see anything, but you see like these barricades and everything. Um, and I know your characters look pretty big on this map. This is actually like a much bigger map. I just don't have any necessary the word I'm looking for. Like a scale as to how big this is. So I think we're gonna change how this map looks actually. So you can see everything about it. I would have to take off the walls.
We're missing someone.
I know. I can see the whole map, so I was like, well, trying to see if it's better to put walls on this, but because it's a bigger map, I don't think we need any walls. So let me go ahead and remove walls real quick. Because I don't think we're gonna need all the walls, because this map is not scaled to begin with. So let me do it that way. And then if we need to go into specifics, I will build it from there. This is when I got really excited about making walls, and I was like, I can make walls so fast. And then you make walls and you don't plan ahead. Like you're like, oh, what are they gonna do? Is this? So let me see what y'all can see. Let's see a couple of walls that I need to delete. Some of those, and then I think these are pretty good to delete. Yeah. Okay, so this is what you see. I have left a couple of walls there, obviously. On the sides, it's just rock going up, basically. Like I said, the path leads up. And what you can see is, or you can hear more than see, is like these tents and maps and tents and everything on the north side of like the map, right? Like, but when you came in, you were looking. How do I explain it in a way that makes sense? So your character is facing west, but west is in the south direction if you look at the map. Does that make sense? Maybe not. I feel like it doesn't make sense. So this is west, this is south, this is, oh God. This is east up here. Oh, you can't see the S because I have walls. This is south, and this is west. Does that, oh, sorry, not west, north. That's the one I'm missing.
About to say
Does
that's
that
a
make sense?
funky ass compass.
Yeah, I had double west. But like, does that make sense? So like,
So north is
if you're
left.
looking south on the map, you're actually looking west in the world.
Cool.
And looking west in the world, that's where you can see greenest really far away from you. So you can tell that whatever this portal did transported this entire army from where you were east of greenest where y'all started. And you can see that, well, it just depends on what y'all choose to do. If we're looking at the map that Anne posted, the one that I just pinned on the D&D channel, if you're looking at this map, like you can tell that you are past. Like if you look east on that map, it says the Reaching Woods, and then like you see those mountain like those mountains, like where like at the very top corner it says Darkhold. You're not quite Darkhold, like you're definitely not that far north. You're kind of like in the bottom part of that mountain range, but you're in that mountain range, if that makes sense.
Like just north of Erebor.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So, but Erebor, like you can see it. Is just I couldn't tell you, like you wouldn't, your character wouldn't have recognized it.
That's fine.
So that's why I was like, oh, I can't really tell you that, but yeah. So this is where we are. Congratulations. Oh, I love the little compass that I don't know who drew it at the bottom, but thank you so much. That's so much better than my wonky ass drawings.
Fair enough. Well done.
It's fine. You did great.
Awesome. Okay. This place is hustling and bustling. People are moving. Everybody's there's carts, there's people, there's everything you can think of. So I think the way that we're gonna play around this area is just move your character to like. Don't worry about moving your character. I will move your token around the map, kind of like to give you a general idea of where you are. Just know that wherever you go, there's people around you. I'm just not gonna put hundreds of tokens.
Sure. Well, I say we headed towards. Well, does it look like it's the people that are outside the wall, just like you know, general, you know, soldiers and whatnot?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. Yes. So the people outside the wall, you see most of the humanoids are going, like they're not stopping. They're just going up this little mountain thing and then going into what, like behind the wall where you assume all the tents and camps are. On the outside, though, you can see the kobolds, the bugbears, uh, kind of like stay on the outside, and they have makeshift huts and uh, like they're already kind of settling outside as if they're not
Yeah.
going inside.
So basically the humanoid races are going inside the camp. The creatures are staying outside the wall.
That's what it looks like. Yes.
I say we go into the camp.
Oh, these guys are pretty tough, man. They're getting elves and dwarves and humans to all work together. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'll just follow you in there, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty. So you follow the group, and as you're following the group more and more, I will move you all. Give me 1 second. As you're following towards the camp, you see a couple of things on the outside. So on the outside, we're gonna move here a little bit up. We were talking about bugbears and kobolds and everything. You see the humanoid races, specifically to kobolds. They majority of them are not engaging with the bugbears and other with the bugbears. You even see well, anyways, with the kobolds, they're kind of like mistreating them too as they go along. Like if a kobold gets too close, they'll push them out of the way and do whatever, which then incites like little battles between the kobolds themselves. Like if a kobold gets pushed into another kobold, then they're fighting each other because they feel like they're like they feel like somebody didn't push them. So like there's a lot of unrest in this little group. Uh, and as you make it through all the way to the walls, let me move y'all a little bit. So as you make it through the walls, and you're getting closer and closer, and you get through the camp, you notice that this camp also kind of splits up into the middle. There's first off, there's plenty more tents than this map gives it justice. There is a sea of tents. There's so many tents. Um, from where you are at the very, very beginning and the little opening, you can see that the biggest tent is what would you consider to be the mess hall, where people eat. You have people cooking. The smells hit your nose, and you can tell that while the meat, like they're, this wouldn't be like a fancy five-star hotel, but they're also cooking in batch, and it doesn't smell bad. It smells really good. Um, at this point in what we're calling the mess hall, right? You hear people. Some people are laughing. Some people are drinking, some people are eating, some people are moving, and you can tell that this place has been kind of like pre-planned as to where people are going. Most races are kind of staying with their own group. So you see a group of dwarves that make it through the line and grab, food and bread and this thing and that, and they're doing well. And then you see this other group of humans who are playing and joking and everything. And then you see people like on another place. These are elves. They're kind of having a discussion that looks. I'm trying to figure out if I like the music or not. Like I need something that's a little bit more. I don't know why I want like the Star Wars music, like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, do it, man.
That'd be so funny.
I may get it. But
Just
anyways,
doesn't have Jar Jar Binks. We're good.
okay, so that's kind of what you see. You're looking at this group. So I'm gonna let y'all choose what you want to do. But if there are any questions, please ask, and I'll elaborate more as to what this place looks like.
Do we see any slave pens or buildings that look like they could house a prisoner?
Not from the very beginning. Like not at the very main entrance. No.
Well, if the different races are breaking off into their own groups, it might raise suspicion if we stay together going through this camp. So, what if we broke off into each other group and just try to listen and gather, intel, what's going on, da 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 da, then set a time and place to meet to try to compare notes.
Okay.
And before we get further into the plot, which is a great thought, Bumpy, will you roll a perception? I want to see if you see something with your question leads to a perception roll. So let me at least give you a chance.
Okay. Appreciate that. 4, 9.
Yeah. So from where you are, you don't see anything like that. Yeah.
Cool. Appreciate that.
Yep. So when you say that, Crom, Gray's looking around. You see him. He's very quickly scanning the people, the crowd, what people are doing. He looks around and he says, I agree. I think it would be better to just split up and meet later tonight or in a couple of hours.
Where y'all want to meet?
I think the mess hall would... Go ahead.
Well, we don't know where the mess hall is or if there is a mess hall.
So
walk through the gate.
Yeah, we'll say this is the mess hall just for easy. We'll say that this tent right here is the mess hall.
Cool.
Just for easy, or actually, let me move it. We'll say it's these two tents right here because that makes more sense, since they're kind of near the food and everything in our map. So I think I can actually.
Yeah, that's better.
Great.
Sorry.
No, that's perfect. I can never get that feature to work properly because I'm dumb, so...
Let's see. Yeah, so Gray says, let's meet... This is Gray's opinion. He's not telling you what to do, obviously, but Gray says, my vote is that we meet here at what would be supper, and just at the mess hall we can nonchalantly talk without people raising big suspicions.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Okay, and you're off. You see Gray kind of pull up the hood, the cloak of the hood of his cloak, and take off into the crowd. So I'm gonna move Gray out of the map just because I don't.
Really quick, before we split off, can we, or should we have some sort of discussion to what each of us is specifically looking for? Or are we just kind of splitting off and seeing what we can find in general?
Gray has an idea and he's going.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You can tell he's not used to working necessarily with a group, so he just takes off.
Yeah, I'd just say we just observe and listen, and just try to hear and see what we can find. Just being observe it, and then compare notes, and then if we need to go back, we could maybe start asking more questions.
Okay.
All right.
Before
Bumpy, how are
you-
you feeling about that?
Oh, come again then?
I was saying, how do you feel about the idea of like you're kind of just splitting off and like,
Oh yeah,
do you want to?
I'm down, bro.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure. I know Acer asked if you wanted to discuss your plan before, so I was just giving you the chance to see what Bumpy would do.
Okay.
If he doesn't, then I'll just say something along the lines to Bumpy that, don't lose all our coin gambling, and just flip my hood up and saunter
Fair
off.
enough. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
All right, so I'm gonna explain kind of like what the next section is gonna look like, and there's two parts to it. One, I think we're all gonna be kind of working together. It is gonna focus on a specific character, and then the other people are gonna be like playing NPCs and rolling for NPCs. So that's kind of one of the parts we're gonna do. So like we're all gonna like work together, kind of like to build this part. If this is not fun, please let me know. Like raise your hand and be like, "Hey, this is not fun. I'm ready to just move on." And if it's fun, then we'll just keep on playing. I want to see how we feel about it. So with that being said, I'm gonna ask everybody to roll a d20 with no modifiers. Whoever rolls the highest will go first.
So basically, an initiative roll.
Just a 1d20. In the chat, if you do, I'm putting it. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Crumb.
Crumb.
Jesus.
Like
Crumb. Yeah, just like that. Exactly. Bumpy and Acer, would you all mind rolling one more time so we know who goes next?
Okay.
I cheated.
And did you cheat? Dirty cheater. I was like, I didn't even see a roll.
I rolled
All right.
20d1. Sorry.
I'm gonna roll 20 d1s. I wonder what I can get. Okay, so I make notes. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna need notes for this part for myself. So. All right, so Crumb, this is kind of your time to shine. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm just going to roam the camp because me being a half orc, typically we're shunned by other races. And so I'm going to look to see if I can find any other half orcs that have kind of gathered.
Sounds good. Sweet. So go ahead and roll a perception check for me, please. Okay, so you're walking around and you kind of do like a couple of loops through this camp. And I mean, I'm telling you, there's a little bit of everything, right? So as you're making your way, you kind of see people who are very short, whether you can't tell if they're halflings or dwarves, or like some of them look really bulky and some of them look really tiny. And while you normally could tell whether they're halflings or dwarves, like at the speed that you're trying to move, searching for half orcs, like you kind of like, I wonder which one those are, and just continue moving. And on your second lap towards this entire thing, you see a group of. So it's very interesting because this group, it's kind of like twofold. You have a group of orcs, like full-blooded orcs, and then right next to that group, you have a group of like what you can assume are the half orcs, but right next to that group is like a group of other people who don't seem to be meshing well with anybody else, kind of like your outsiders.
That'd be my group right there.
The outsiders
Yep.
or the half orcs.
No, not the full orcs, because we're bastards of
No, no,
orcs, so.
Right, so it's full orcs, half orcs, outsiders. I guess, hold on, let me do a little drawing, because I feel like that might be bad. So, we're going to move you in the general direction as to where these people would be. People would be about right here. And you have a group right here, a group right here, and a group right here. And it goes like so. What? I know I put you like in between all of them, but like in between these, but you feel free to move yourself in that group.
Roger.
The half orcs are right where you are, and then these are going to be your outsiders. And what I mean by outsiders, these are kind of like your half everything races. Like half elves are there. Like you see a few half elves, you see a few uh, orcs. You see but you see other races that like you have not encountered. But like one of them looks like a really big turtle with like a shell and everything, and they're here. There's like two of them in this area, but they're there.
I'm gonna go check out the outsider section.
The outsider section. Can I walk to aisle A2, please? The outsiders. Uh, so on aisle A2, the outsiders, like I was saying, you see a little bit of everything, right? Um, Before we continue with like the whole story, is Acer, where would you have gone?
I think I probably would have gone kind of the deepest into the camp, specifically only because the player Wesley likes the idea of this big camp tent thing up in the top.
Sounds great. Okay, so we'll come back to that. I was just wanting to make sure if you were gonna go to the half elves, like I was gonna say, you may even find Crumb here, so that's what I was asking. So yeah, Crumb. So you see these people are here. Some of them are drinking, some of them are playing, some of them are like they have wooden swords and they're kind of like playing around and trying to best each other. You see there are competitions that are taking place of any kind. You even see people who are gambling, people who are. This seems to be kind of like a little bit of a party at this point. Um, and as you're walking by, like you pass what you thought was a rock, and like you look over to, like as you're walking by, you're like, oh, that's clearly a rock, and you pass by, and like a head sticks out of it, like kind of like a little bit, and a little turtle face kind of looks at you, just like, rude, are we? Not saying hello.
That was to Crom.
Yes, that was the Crumb. Uh, Crumb. Mike.
Oh, was Mike disconnected?
Maybe I see him in here and in in Discord, but I don't hear him.
I think maybe his mind got blown because you said there's actual turtles, people.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, we'll get back to that. Okay, so while we wait for Chrome to come back, Acer, what about you? So you were saying Acer, the player, wants to go all the way to the back?
Like Acer, the character, wouldn't necessarily have a specific inclination, but the player that's controlling Acer wants to know what's in the big tent.
Well, what do you choose to do, my friend?
So I will just nonchalantly, walk back to that back area. Casually.
Okay, go ahead and roll perception. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that you're specifically looking for, or no? Because it also it does affect like how much info or what I tell you see.
I don't know what I would specifically be looking for other than trying to find if there's like slave quarters or if there's anything that looks like it might be interesting. Maybe if there is some sort of leader or group of leaders to the camp that's not away from everybody, like I could get close enough to listen in, something like that. So either of those two options
Okay.
will say that's what I would be looking for. Otherwise,
Okay.
something
So,
interesting, whatever it might be.
Back.
oh, sweet. Chrome, we'll come back. Hold on. We started doing the ASIC part while we were waiting for you to come back. But give me 1 second. Yeah, so you were walking through this Acer, and as you're walking through this entire camp, interesting things, man, they're everywhere. You are seeing people, um, like you see people fighting, gambling, drinking, uh, arm wrestling. They're doing like thumb wars. Like you see people interacting in different ways, and everybody seems to have found like a little group. So like when you say I'm looking for interesting things, they are everywhere. But it's just the interaction that people have as far as like magical, like you don't feel the pull of anything or nothing like that. And as you start making your way through the camp, you can't really see um, any of the uh, prisoner ward, if that's what you want to call it. You can't really see that. But the farther and deeper you go into the camp, the more spaced out things get. So like the tent's a little bit farther out. There's not as many people. Um, as you're making your way into that back part of the tent, you start seeing some flashes of people wearing purple. Um, first it's like a little undershirt with like it's like somebody's wearing like an armor and they have like an undershirt that's purple, and then you make it a little bit farther into the camp, and as you make it a little bit farther in, now you see it's not just the undershirt, but there's like a little ball that's also purple. How far deep do you want to go?
Let's say before, if there's like a 75% way, between the full purple and the not purple at all, I would say, well, I guess 25% then. So only 25% into the purple, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little bit like I said, this map is not to scale, so you make it through it, and like I said, so as you're looking around and you're getting all the way to this back part, yes, you do notice that there's clearly a very strict delineation of this is where everybody is, right? Like so, like this line, everybody is below it, and then above it, now you have like a little room. The tents are, like I said, sparse, and people are wearing different amounts of purple, and even farther into the camp, right? Like and my hands are going into the camp. Like farther into the camp, you see there's another clear delineation as to like some of these people don't even get here. So there's not like a 25% type of purple. You're right, like at the edge of the delineation of like, okay, people here are wearing purple and I'm not. That's kind of where you are. But once you're wearing purple, everybody in that part is like have different degrees of purple, if that makes sense.
Okay, so I think the note I took for the cloak, I took notes that it was a purple cloak with 5 claws forming a star stitched inside of the cloak, and each of the claws are a different color. So I would be wearing purple, if that's that's my understanding.
Let me look at the cloak. Okay, real quick. Hold on 1 second. Cloak.
I sent you the screen cap in Discord of what I wrote down.
Yeah, let me double check. Because those guys were not wearing purple. So if you just grab that from some, I'm trying to figure out where
We
we
got
got
that
that.
from the guys right before the ambusher. The guys we interrogated, I think.
Yeah, they did not have purple.
Okay, let me adjust that then.
And sorry, like I know you sent me the screenshot, and I apologize. That's on me for saying like, oh yeah, that looks great, and then missing the whole purple. Yeah, this one would be like, yeah, this one was not purple. You just know, let me see. I have a note of this. Let me see what I can show you. Hold on. Okay, so, and this is a recap because I know I didn't do it enough justice last time we talked about that. So let me kind of just talk with everybody about it. So the guy that you talked about, right? The one that you took the cloak with the 5 stars, whatever. He mentioned that there were different levels of people in the cult. So let me give you specifically what those are to the best of his knowledge, and I'll make a note of that. So we talked about you had your initiates, which were like the bottom layer of this group. Then you had what's called the fanatics, which is like the next layer up as to what you can be, and then like you have a level above that, and those are what's considered like um, your dragon cult people. The guy that you took the cloak from, he was part of like the dragon cult, but he's not wearing any purple yet. And then above that, the one he told you about that he knows would have been what's called a dragon claw, and they normally wear anything on their hands, kind of like braces around their hands that are purple. So that's as much
Okay.
information as y'all have about this group as of right now.
Okay, then I would be right right into that first delineation. I would be
Mm-hmm.
just past that, so that I'm just kind of barely inside where the purple people are.
Okay. Yeah, and so in this group, as you're seeing, they're a lot more organized than the rest of the group. They are talking in hushed tones and moving around. They seem to have a purpose. You see a couple of them carrying big chests from one place to the next. There's another guy. He has like a um, like a list of things, and he's checking things off as people move from one place to the next. So you see a lot of that organization, things being transported and moving.
Oh, I would 100% go by the guy with the list because Acer knows that logistics is how you win a war.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So you start getting closer and closer to this guy, and how do you approach this guy?
I don't know that I would approach him necessarily. I would just try to. Is there a way I could like peek over his shoulder and get a glimpse at the list?
Well, you can't like you have to approach him to look at the list one way or another. But you can't say I don't want to approach him, but I want to look at the list.
Okay. Then
Like I love the idea, but that's like
I would like. I'd like to kill everybody in the camp and they all just die. I don't understand.
I mean, hey, like that's kind of where we go with this. In
Then
fact,
let's see.
you want to summon Tiamat. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, yeah, basically. The Cinderguard thirsts. How would I approach him? Acer would come up with a way that Wesley's not able to.
Okay, so we're gonna live. Wesley, think about it. You got this, and we're gonna go to
Good idea.
Bumpy real quick. Bumpy, so you are at the beginning of this camp, and people have moved into different directions. What do you do?
Okay, so we had allegedly seen some dwarves. I'm
Hmm.
going to deliberately avoid hill dwarves because, from Pumpy's perspective, fuck them too.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to find some mountain dwarves if I can, and I don't know, maybe sit, I don't know, 7 or 8 feet away, and just try to
Okay.
listen.
Great. Awesome. So you make your way. Um, Go ahead and roll a perception for me.
Okay. Crit.
Boom! Yeah, man. With okay. So here's what you see. You start making your way through what you see a couple of other dwarfs funneling and moving, and they're kind of going in their own direction. As you're kind of following along or anything, something catches your eye, and you look over, um, and you see kind of like in this general area. Where is this? Nope. Come on, you can draw it with a circle. Um, so we'll put it here. So you can see that farther up, well, you can see where there are cages and people are being uh, either like you can see them shackled or moved or anything, and it kind of like distracts you for a little bit. Uh, the most interesting piece of that particular section is that there is a guy. You can't make out his features. You can't really make out like his race or anything from where you are, but he is tied to a post. Like the post is kind of like an X, and he has like his hands tied on that X, and he's just like slumped down.
Oh,
Um,
like in the middle of that blue circle there?
Yes, about like in that general circle. What you can what you can tell also from where you are because of the high perception is that some of the people around that area are wearing some kind of purple items. Uh, but as you're doing that, you you look at all of that, you clock it, you internalize it, and then you move on and continue following these dwarves. And there is a group of like hill dwarves. There's not many of them, but they're there. And there's a group of mountain dwarves, and they're there. They're not like super friendly with each other, but they are nearby each other. And then you can clearly sit like 6 or 7 or 10 feet away.
Okay, man. You had said around that captive circle, there were some dudes wearing purple items. Was that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
Can you ask what type of items those might have been?
they're different in the sense of when I say like items, I mean like some of them maybe like some of them have like little braces that are purple. Some of them have like a little shawl. Some of them have like their arm like shoulder pads or like something that's purple. But you see different levels of purple in that general area.
Cool. Got you, man. I'm thinking about. I want to think of a way to make fun of the one that's wearing a purple shawl, because that's kind of girly.
Uh, okay.
So I'm playing.
So,
No, I'm playing.
hey,
No.
you go for it. Whatever y'all. Listen, guys. I'm a secondary actor to this entire thing. Y'all are the primaries, so I'm here for y'all.
All right.
uh,
So look. How many of these mountain dwarves are there, man?
um, you know, say it's about like 45 to 60. About like it's a pretty sizable group.
Oh, that's a whole bunch of them.
Yes, yes. It's not a
Okay. And
small group. Like it's a pretty sizable group of dwarves.
okay, so it would make sense that they wouldn't really be talking. Are any of them drinking, like liquor?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Absolutely. Like for dwarves specifically, there's a couple of things that they're doing. Some of them are drinking. The majority of them are drinking. Like that's kind of what they're doing at this point. Some other ones have food. You can see that one of these dwarves somehow, um, like as you're sitting here and watching all the dwarves, you manage to see one that just comes around like one of these little tents that are makeshift and put together and everything, and he has like a fucking keg, like huge, and he like runs around into the middle of everybody. He's like, and like picks it up, and he struggles so hard, but he's trying and trying, and like a group of like 5 others get underneath the keg and like pick it up, and they're like, "Thanks for everyone!" And they like set it down, and they pry it open, and people are like I said drinking. You see some other ones that they are like they've gotten pickaxes, and they're just hammering rocks trying to see who could chip it the fastest or the like the fastest or who can do the most damage to a rock in one swing. There's competitions going around. There's even like some gambling happening with other groups. Um, and that's what I was saying with the hill dwarves. They're there. They're also doing their own thing. There's not a lot of friendliness between the hill dwarves and the mountain dwarves,
Yeah, that
but
makes sense.
they are mingling. Like it's not like they're not like BFFs, but they're sharing drinks and stuff like that.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay. So look, those ones that are drinking, I'm gonna feign drunkenness
Okay.
and go up and try to mingle with them. And I'm gonna be like, this is a hell of a lot better than that elven wine garbage.
Uh, you're faking being drunk, correct?
Yeah.
Will you roll deception for me?
Yeah.
It's not a super high DC.
Such deceit.
If these other dwarves are drunk, would it maybe give him some sort of advantageous state?
No, it just lowers the DC.
Okay. If I crit, can I be a Decepticon?
Absolutely, you for sure can.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you totally make it. So you get close, you say, you tell them it's better than this elven crap, and they're like, "Elves, get them out of here! They don't know how to party!" And you hear like everybody else, like at the sound of that, like get crazy and be like, "Ah!" And drinks kept coming and be like, and one of the dwarves, how big is Bumpy?
Let's see. I have that information ready. Give me 1 second, brother.
Perfect.
He
I will
is.
need age and how big he would be compared to other dwarves,
He's
more
105.
specifically.
He's 4.5
Okay,
feet tall and weighs 150 pounds.
150, 4.5, and he's 105. Okay, so he would be considered a mid,
So he's like 30.
like a 30-year-old, basically a human kind of situation.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And you see this old old dwarf come around, and he's like slobbering, has a drink. Hey, you youngins! He says like, you youngins, and he puts his arm around you, and be like, drink to the Hoard. May it return all the power to the dwarves. And then he drinks his drink. Um,
Okay.
and then like he moves on, and he's doing that not just with you, like he's doing the same little speech to multiple people, and he's just like he's drunk.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna keep hanging out with these guys. I need to find myself a keg somewhere, and I'm gonna fiend drinking, like let it slosh down my beard or whatever. But
Hmm.
I'm not gonna actually ingest hardly any at all. I'm trying to stay sober.
Okay, perfect. Uh, Hold on
Uh,
to that thought while you're doing that. We're gonna circle back to Crom real quick, and then we're gonna go around again. So Crom, what's the last thing you heard on your part?
Uh, Honestly, I wasn't really paying attention because I'm not part of the group.
No, no, no. Like whenever before you disconnect, like you kind of like had audio. What was the last thing you heard about you?
Um,
Or we can also just redo the whole thing if that's okay too.
yeah, sorry. I joined the Outsiders group, and then you went on to Acer.
Okay, cool. So you joined the Outsiders crew, and as you're walking past like what you thought was a rock, like this thing looks like a little house, like rocky protrusions and everything. But you make past it, and a head pops out of this rock, and it's like the head of a turtle. And it looks out and it says, "Rude not saying hello to your betters."
Got it, and I go, my apologies.
I think I made it clear. And then like an arm pops out, and then like the legs pop out, and then you see him like he's like on his belly and he rocks a little bit, and then pushes up and like gets up, and it's like a full like turtle that stands up, um, and then he like reaches down and pulls up a cane, and you can tell that this. I mean, it looks like an old turtle, um, but like he says, "Hmm, you didn't say hello to me. How rude."
And I say my apologies again.
Great. Now we can be best friends. What is your name?
Name's Chrome.
Oh, wonderful name. I'm so pleased to meet you. My name is Fiona.
What was your name again? I'm sorry.
Fiona.
Fiona.
Hmm.
Nice to meet you, Fiona.
Nice to meet you, Chrome. This is such a wonderful experience. Come meet my friends. And she turns around, and like the group of the outsiders are like one way, and she turns like the completely opposite way. Come meet my friends. Like completely the opposite way.
Okay, well, I start following, because this could be very interesting.
And so you follow Fiona, and just a couple of steps, and then you see like behind like one of the tents, there's three chairs, completely empty. But these three chairs are there. And then she like squats down, puts her like she gets next to a rock, squats down, brings in her legs into her shell. So she's just like kind of in her shell, balanced. And she says, "Hey, my friends are here. They would love to meet you."
Okay, I kind of chuckle inside, and I take a seat.
Okay. Um, so she starts looking around, and uh, she starts looking around, and she says, "So let me introduce you." Points to the first chair and says, "To Cedric. He's wonderful. He's very tall. Not as tall as you, mind you, but he's great." Points to the second chair. "That is Cedric. He's very short. It's okay, but friendly. And that over there, well, we don't know his name, but we call him Cedric anyways. So it's the party."
So I look at each chair and I go, "Nice to meet you."
And then like an awkward silence where nobody says anything. And then Fiona says, "Oh, they're delighted to meet you. This is so wonderful. What brings you here, Chrome? Please tell me."
Well, I was heard there was work, uh, mercenary work, and so I thought I'd join the group and make some coin.
"Oh, mercenary group. That's so wonderful. I started as a mercenary, believe it or not, but my talents were better suited. Oh, Cedric, shut up. My talents were better suited somewhere else." And then like her hand goes into like her shell and pulls that up, and then like comes out with a pipe from nowhere, and then puts it in her mouth like, "Oh, the good old days of mercenaries." And then she like looks like she's lost in thought for a few minutes.
Yeah,
And Mhm.
I just respectfully just sit there and wait for her to come back.
and like a whole like minute and a half goes on, and she's just like looking, like not even blinking, not nothing, just looking. And then, "Thank you, Cedric. I got lost in thought." But anyways, yes. Oh, mercenaries. Oh, gold. Yes, the good days. Well, what have you heard? What jobs have you done so far?
Just little things here and there. Some bounties. Um, I'm ex-military, so I've got some experience with fighting and strategy, and so and I heard this opportunity, so I thought my skills would be of good use, and so I come hunting for some work, and like I said, some loot if all possible.
Oh my goodness. Yes, the possibilities are always so endless. But you say the military. Well, tell you what. They say, and then she gets like really close to you, leans in, and says that a tournament may happen in the next few hours. If you're interested, I'm sure you could have some fun with that.
What kind of tournament would this be?
Oh, I've never participated, but I've seen a few. It's you battle until you can't battle anymore. Anything goes? No, pardon me. Cedric, I know what I said. Not anything goes. It's you fight with your fists, no weapons, no underhanded techniques, no craziness. But the prize, oh, the prize. It's. And then she gets quiet and then like leans closer to the chairs. "Good point, Cedric. It's 15 gold."
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
how does one enter said tournament?
Oh, yes. You do it with me. And then her hand goes into her shell, and then comes out with like a list of people, like a list of like it's man, I can't think of the word.
List.
Well, it's like a list, but it has like a little wood on the back, so like she can write on it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but she pulls one of them out, and she's like, "You signed up with me. It's great." Cedric and Cedric have already been selected. Wyatt Cedric, he said he wouldn't participate. And then like she turns around the little sign up sheet and shows it to you, and there's like 6 names in there, and they're not Cedric, believe it or not. There is so there are 8 names, 2 of which are Cedric.
Gotcha. I'm like, sure, add me to that list.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, and then she turns around and like scribbles from, and you see her like writing like a 5-year-old, like K, and then like it gets smaller as she goes on. Like clearly somebody else wrote the previous names. She says, "Well, we will have this in a couple of hours." And then like her legs pop up from her shell, and she gets up and she just kind of like waddles away with her cane and everything.
Interesting.
Um. Okay, so let's wait there. Acer, we're back to you.
Oh God.
Do you have a plan?
Um, as a player, I don't know exactly. I mean, I would just kind of nonchalant. What I want is to like nonchalantly make small talk about how the people that are in charge of logistics are the most underappreciated, and it's the toughest job. So
Okay.
something along the lines of like walking up and noticing, like, yeah, you must be the logistics guy. God, that's a thankless job. Something like that.
Okay. Yeah. That makes perfect sense. So, yeah, you walk up to the guy like he has a list and like he's noticing like noting things and he's just like noting and noting and to the next person, the next thing and whatever. And as he's doing that, like you get like you get close and you're like, ah, thankless jobs. Logistics is so important. And I mean, I'm telling you, this guy jumps. Like he just like jumps around and holds it like clutches that list close to his chest. And he says like, "Who are you? How did you get here? What? I've never seen you before. Who are you?"
Um, just one of the mercenaries that's been around. I would like to say something along the lines of like I've done that logistics job and I know that it's shit, and like the gods smile on those of us that move their coin, something like that.
Okay. Uh, so you kind of like do that. Kind of try to like you're trying to relate to this person. Go ahead and roll a persuasion roll for me, please.
Oh,
Okay, so you start telling like these stories and telling about, like, or not the stories, but you start saying, how, you've done the logistics job and it's so unappreciated. It's how not helpful. And like, the more you talk about this logistics job, the more you see this person kind of like back up a little bit and kind of retreat into himself and say, "Yeah, thanks, Liz. I don't." And like she looks you over, and he looks you over, and he's like, "I don't see any purple. Are you supposed to be here?"
can I do some sort of feign of ignorance and just be like, "Oh, is this not the purple area? I need to go back to the other." Something along the lines of, we were just kind of recently hired along. Don't know the full thing. Maybe if there's anything you can explain to me, that'd be helpful. Just how the
Okay.
operation works, because I'm interested. I think I'm generally. I think
So when
it's a
you
cool
say
thing.
that, yeah. So when you say that, recently hired and everything, um, you see a couple of things, and most importantly, you see this person kind of relax a little bit and say like, "Oh, new hires, got it. You're looking for your pay. I don't handle that. I'm sorry. I am in charge of something else. You are looking for Aurelia. She is definitely near like the beginning of the camp. She's by where the food is. She handles payments. She's got you. This area is a little bit of you know, off limits for new hires. So yeah, I kind of need you to go.
Okay, yeah, and then I will, and I'll tip my top of the cloak to them and say, thanks. Hope it's good. Good luck on your everything.
On your everything. Oh, hold on. I'll be right back. I'm gonna do water real quick.
Did that person give?
Like a general. Yeah, they mentioned that Aurelia would be near like the mess hall, like at the very entrance.
Okay, then I guess I would make my way that way.
Okay, so you start making your way that way, and as you're making your way around, you start seeing like I said, people are eating and gambling and playing, and you overhear things where like you hear, yeah, we didn't get the great spoils this time, and you hear another person like a little bit farther down, who's saying like, I don't even know why we brought people back with us. And then as you get closer and closer to the mess hall, you're seeing a couple of organization like lines. One of the lines has the people who are getting food. The other line has uh, what looks to be like a elf kind of looking lady, tall, thin, slender, um, with only one hand. And people walk up to her, and she like grabs a stack of coins, puts them in her hand, and then sends them on their way.
Okay, so I guess I would walk up to her then, and I would try to make small talk there as well when it was my turn.
Okay. Uh, yeah, let's go. Let's wait and let's see what Bumpy chooses to do at this point, and then we'll come back to the Aurelia interaction.
Really quick, she's an elf lady with one hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Merlin, you're moving my map, buddy. Okay. Bumpy.
All right, man.
I think I. Yep. All right. So, what are you up to?
So I've got these drunk dwarves, right?
Yes.
And I had made that comment about the elf wine sucking,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna ask them, be like, "Well, do we have any of the spirits of our brethren here?"
Ooh. Yeah. And at that, when you mentioned that, um, the like one of like a lot of the dwarves says, "Oh, yeah, we're saving that for a real special day." And like when you look around, who says that? You look around and it's like a dwarf. This one he seems to be smaller than other dwarves, but he's missing. Like he has like a cut coming down his eye, and it's he just like he has scars all over his face and everything, and you can tell that he's been around for not forever, but like whatever he's been around was not the shit you want to be around with.
Understood.
And he says like, yes, we're saving that for a real special day.
Well, I think today is a special day. We're about to get paid for having raided that town.
I, mm, I guess that could be a good day.
I mean, frankly, I'd rather my pay in slaves.
And he turns around and you hear him yell, Franklin! And about like three people raise their hand. And three people look up to that name. Like, he says, Franklin, how many of that good stuff we got left? And one of the three people that look up, like they all kind of like do this thing of like, you is it me? Like you just see them like pointing at each other. And one of them gets closer and he says, uh, yeah, uh, sir, we have about 9 cases left. We probably will need to restock after tonight. And you see this like grumpy guy says, Francis, let's pour a couple of good drinks. The young one here convinced me. Let's get done. Let's party it up a little bit, and let's gamble. Uh, and at that, like at the noise of gambling, like everybody starts kind of getting a little bit excited about it. Um, as you're hearing that, like as he talks about gambling, you see a couple of things, and we're kind of going to talk about what's happening here in a few seconds. Let me go with Acer first, just a minute. We're gonna circle back to all three of y'all in just a second. Acer, how's your interaction with Aurelia going?
I mean, it's going great now that you ask. She's basically telling me everything I want to know, and she's just not suspicious at all.
Okay. So yeah, so you walk up to Aurelia. She's like I said, missing a hand, and she looks up, says, "Job." The only word she says, "Job."
Would my character have any inkling as to which job pays a healthy portion? Or maybe more than a healthy portion?
I think at this point, from where you are, you wouldn't know that for this particular group. Right. There are jobs that clearly you can say that would pay, like if you said king, that would pay a lot of money. Um, but you know that this group doesn't have a king. So for this particular group, I don't think you would know.
Okay. Can I make up something about, being an elite squad, or part of the elite squad that does the ambushing to cover our tracks?
Roll persuasion with disadvantage. Man, so you tell her about like this ambushing squad, and she says, thought I knew most of them. Interesting. Whatever. Grabs a stack of silver coins and hands them to you. Uh, Basically, she's giving you 2 gold pieces in silver.
I'll take it. While I'm there, I'd like to make small talk about like how tedious this job must be to give it out to everybody, and it'd be something like, God, how many times do you have to do this a day? Just kind of trying to get an idea of maybe how many people they've hired and how willing they are to split with their gold.
Okay. Go ahead and do a persuasion again. No disadvantage this time, though. Just regular perception or persuasion. Sorry. Out of the questions that you've asked, she says, "Oh, we don't do this all the time. It's just when everybody gets together, and takes about 3 or 4 hours to get most, if not everybody, paid. So not as bad as it could be. Instead of being on the front line, that's how I got this." And she raises like her handless arms. It's like, that's how I got this. Still worth it. Very big believer of the cost though. And then like she just kind of like moves you along.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to the other part. So as you, Bumpy, heard it's time for gambling, a couple of things happen. You see here in the middle of the camp, you see the middle of the camp. I'm making like a big circle, kind of like where it's happening. I know it's kind of like in the entrance of the camp. It's kind of like in the middle-ish of like where all these things are happening. But you see and you notice that they've put a couple of rings. So they have like these squares ringed, or the circles ringed off, for people to. You don't know exactly what they're going to do at this particular moment. But then there's also like next to this, there's tables around, and people are sitting on these tables, and there's different sets of tables. Some of them are set up in such a way that you can look at the rings, or like these squares in the ground, and then some of them are set up on the side where you can sit across from. They're basically casino tables, where like one person has like either a deck of cards or something, and they're there, and you can gamble in those tables, or you can gamble in the fights. And so like a lot of like the dwarves, they get their drinks and they are starting to head that way. Um, and Acer, you're seeing this too also. Once she rushes you off, you see a lot of like the people start moving into this other general location. At which point, Crom, uh, Fiona comes back. Or sorry, Fiona doesn't come back. Fiona, who's walked off a little bit, you see her get atop a rock and like grab her little cane and smack it a couple of times and says, "Contestants, contestants, please come!" And like people are starting to move, and as you're moving like in that general direction, you see that there's like 3 or 4 rings, uh, like set up like squares on the ground with like different rocks.
Nice.
Uh, and so is there anybody who wants to do anything at this particular time? Is there like, is there
Man,
anybody
I'm
who
gonna
wants to
keep
do
talking
anything
to
else?
those dwarves I was talking to, man.
You're gonna keep talking to them? Awesome.
Yep.
So you're talking to them and you're just following them along. The group kind of splits up a little bit. The old one that's missing an eye and has like scratches on his face or arms or everything, he's gonna go look at the fights. There's a
That's what I'm
few
going with.
smaller. Cool, awesome. Thank you for saying that. Like, thank you for not letting me describe what the other group is going.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah, he seemed like he knows some shit, so.
right. Acer, what about you?
I think if there's a crowd drawing for the fights, that I would join in and see
In the
what's going
crowd or
on.
the fights?
No, in the crowd, not in the fights.
Okay, you're going into the crowd, not the fights. Got it. All right.
Oh, come on, man! Don't you want to join me and have fun?
I I don't know that I'd do great. I think I'd do okay, but no, I'll let you do that.
Our luck would be
Um,
pitted against each other.
I would take the fall.
okay, so at this particular time, as y'all are looking at the contestants coming, and there's, like I said, like 3 different rings. Um, on one of them, you have like the creature type monsters that are fighting, right? Like there are the orcs and bugbears and some of the ogres, and they're kind of fighting. Nobody has weapons, nobody has armors. They're just kind of fighting there, and you see about 5 people, or sorry, about 7 or 8 of those like creatures lined up at the side. Um, and there's around them, there's people with weapons and everything in case they're needed. Um, in the middle group, you see a different group that's coming here, and part of the group, part of the group that you see come into that middle ring, uh, you're like looking at the contestants, you see Crom, and he's in that middle group, just ready, like just walking up, and next to him, you see there are a. Oh, sorry. I know I said that the bugbears were with the other group, but no, you see in Crom's group, sorry, Crom, but in your group, you see 1 bugbear, you're like a half orc, and then you see 2 more half orcs and 2 dwarves for a total of 6 people. And in the first ring that you had monsters, like, or like your creature types, right? Like they were just like the ogres and orcs and stuff like that. And then you have a smaller ring where you have the elves and half elves and everything, and they're there. And you see this. Well, you've already met Fiona Crom, but for Acer and Bumpy, you see like this decrepit. They're called turtles, like portals, like with an O. But you see this really old portal, kind of like standing in a rock, and you can tell that this is the person who's in charge of everything. Like she looks old, but like she's directing everybody with a cane and everything. And then every so often, like her hand goes to her chest and then comes out with like something, a pipe, sometimes, and different different things. And the fights begin on like the first ring. You can clearly tell with the nimble creatures. You can tell that that bracket has already been set up. At this point, do people want to take wagers on the fights?
No, sir.
All right, Crum, go ahead and roll a D6, please. All right. It was a 3. Now, Okay, so hold on 1 second. Okay. So the first, so from you walk up, like you see Fiona kind of like call your group, and like I said, like as you're looking better at this group, you see that there's, so aside from you, there's one other half orc, one bugbear. Sorry. Aside from you, there's 2 half orcs, 1 bugbear, 1 dwarf, and 1 human, for a total of 6 people altogether.
Okay.
And she says, she points at like the bugbear and a half orc and says, "You two, you go first." She points at you, and like she like somehow the more that this tournament has gotten closer, she looks like very lucid. Like, who was Cedric at this point? Kind of situation. Like, you don't even understand how she seems so in touch and in place and directing this whole situation. And then she looks at you and says, "Crime, you and this person." Next, and like you look and it's another half orc, and then like she points at the human and the dwarf, and they're gonna be the third group. So the first round of fights are gonna happen, and you see like 2 elves are on the first ring, a half orc and a bugbear in the middle ring, and in the third ring you see like 2 orcs who are gonna start battling out. And as this is happening, people are taking wagers. So what are your wagers if you would like to wage anything?
I will abstain for now.
Okay, you abstain. Bumpy, do you want to participate or no?
No, I'm gonna move a little bit further back in the group and try to stay out of these people's view so they don't try to volunteer me to fight.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, and so you hear like the organization happens, and then they go one by one. Like you hear like somebody grabs like 2 pieces of like what looks to be kind of like wood or something. They smack them together and they make a loud noise, and they go boom boom, and like the first round goes, and you see the elves fighting for each other, trying to eye gouge and move and this and that, and the fight takes about 35 seconds, and one of the elves is victorious. And then they move to the middle ring, and you hear them like same thing. They just clang these sticks, and you see the bugbear and the half orc. They're just fighting it out and moving and dodging and everything. And then like out of nowhere, like the bugbear just kind of like grabs the leg of the half orc and like picks him up, like kind of like trips him, and you can think he's about to break his leg until the half orc like manages to use his other leg and kicks him across the head, and the bugbear just falls down unconscious. And at this point, like everybody's losing their mind, like crazy. And then the third fight happens, and people fight. And then like after all that, like the blood is like as the fights are happening, like the blood is kind of like cleaned up as best as it can. Things are moved out of the way, and the next round happens, and the first ring happens to go again, and then one of them is victorious, and then the second ring comes, and Chrome walks in with another half orc. So we're just gonna put y'all here in the middle. I know that this is not a perfect circle, like a great even circle. So hold on, this would be 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5. Yeah, we'll do it like this. From you'll be like right there in the middle, and just because I am lacking one of these, not that.
And this is unarmed fighting, right?
Yes, this would be unarmed fighting. They and Fiona did say that this was a like while it is unarmed fighting, it like the only thing that really matters is no weapons. So take that for whatever you will it to be. Okay. And so like you get it. I know that it's not necessarily an orc. It's okay. This is what we're doing right now. But you see this guy and um he looks about your size, a little bit skinnier and everything, but he's looking pretty fine. And you wait and wait and wait for that uh thick noise, and you hear thung thung thung, and let's roll for initiative. So we'll do combat. We'll do the wonderful roll. No. Oh. All right. Let's do it. So, Crom, you go first. So as soon as the sticks go, boom, 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 what do you do?
Immediately lunge at the opponent to grapple.
Okay. Ooh, yes. Are you attacking as well as grappling?
No, I'm just going to focus on grappling.
Cool. Sounds good. So that's athletics versus what does this person do well? Oh yeah, athletics, a contested athletics check. Let's do it.
I think they can use athletics or acrobatics, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he wants to use athletics. Trust me.
I believe you.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, oh, I think he wants to roll athletics. Oh man, yeah. He rolled a 12, so go for it. So you go ahead. Do you want to describe what happens, or you want me to do it?
So I lunge at him to. What size is he? Is he equivalent, smaller, bigger?
He's equivalent.
Okay. So I lunge at him. To grapple and pull him down so I can like wrap my legs around him, kind of like a wrestling move to
Okay.
gain position to be on top before I make my attack.
Oh yeah. Okay, you got it. So you take him down and you wrap your legs, and you have a like the position on top. So you're grappling and holding him. So for his turn, he's just gonna try and break free of that grapple. So that would be another contested strength check. Oh God, I did not mean to move us. People should not let me DM.
It's better you than me.
What?
I said it's better you than me.
Oh. All right, so he's gonna try and break free. And then what is your strength? If you do a strength roll for me, Crom. Oh yeah, man! Like you see this guy like at the bottom is trying to push you and move, and like he can't do it. Like he's trying his hardest to break this grapple, but he can't. So it's your turn.
Awesome. So I'm going to basically punch him. What position is is he face down or face up?
We'll say he's face down. Like you took out his legs. So yeah, we'll say he's face down. Like you're like on his back, kind of.
Okay. Then I'm going to take a punch at the back of his head.
Go for it.
So unarmed strikes is a D20
It's a
plus strength.
D20 to hit, which you'll have an advantage because you're grappling, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so I need to roll a D20 to see if I hit, right?
Yes, and then you do it's a 1 plus whatever your strength modifier is. That's how much damage you'll do. So you'll be doing 4 damage every time.
Yeah, it says here for attack roll, it's a D20 plus 4 for strength modifier plus 3
Mhm.
for proficiency bonus. But I don't know what my proficiency bonus would be.
It's 2 for right now. So to hit, like when you go to hit, you'll do D20 plus 5 because it's an unarmed strike plus. Oh yeah, that hits. Yeah, that'll hit. Their AC is not that big.
So then it's 1 point of damage plus strength modifier damage. So it'd be 6 points of damage.
Your strength is just plus 3, so I think it's 4.
My strength is plus 5.
It's plus 5. Oh my god, I am so sorry. I
Oh,
was
sorry.
reading that wrong.
No, those are saving throws. My bad. So yeah, it is plus 3.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it would be 4.
Okay, man, you grab him and you just punch, boom, straight into the back of his head, and you feel it hit. Like it connects really well. And you hit him and like you feel his head like go straight into the ground and bounce back up.
Gotcha.
All right, let's see if he can break free. He's gonna try and break free of this contest of this. Go ahead.
Can I get a hold of whoever's doing the bets and start putting bets on Chrome?
Yeah, you can.
I'll do that.
You can. Okay. So in this particular fight, it is a 1-to-1 ratio. So however much money you put, you get back. Like if you put,
I'll do 2
1
gold.
gold, you get 2 gold. What?
I'll do 2 gold.
Okay, cool. So if Crom wins, you get 4 gold back. So you get your 2 plus 2 more.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're gonna roll this contested strength again. Come on, my little guy, you can do it.
Oh yeah, I've got money on the half orc.
Well, there's 2 half orcs. Which one are you doing?
I know.
That's really funny,
Pick the winning half orc.
right? Always pick the winning half orc. And I think we need a strength save, or an acrobatics from you, Crom, because he's trying to break from you. I'm gonna be very upset if he never gets to break 3.
I'll be okay with that.
Well, yeah, he failed.
That won't hurt my feelings.
He rolled. Man, he rolled. Of course, he rolled a 13, and then Crom just like demolished it. Yeah, he's still grappled. So that was his action.
Roll to hit.
Yep. A 9 plus the 5 does not hit. That misses his AC. So you go to punch him again. Go ahead.
Well, there's a strength modifier plus a proficiency bonus. I never could figure out what the proficiency bonus is.
It's a +2. Like the proficiency modifier is a +2 until you hit level 5, I think. At which point it becomes a +3.
Okay, so it'd be 9, 5, it'd be 14, so it'd be 16 to hit.
Oh, then that hits. My bad. It would be 9 plus 3 plus 2, right? Isn't that 14? Am I doing math wrong?
Oh, yeah, I'm still doing my. Sorry. Yeah, no, so it'd be 14. My bad.
Okay, so with the 14 does miss. So you go to punch him, and as he's squirming away and trying to move, you kind of get bucked and moved a little bit, and you miss your punch this time, and then he's gonna try and break free a 3rd time. You can do it. little guy. Come on. He's really not that bad. Like, he's actually decently stats, but like he is not as decently stat as you. Oh wait, did I do the wrong one?
Yeah, you wrote for me.
Oh, I rolled for you. Oh damn it! That was a 22. I was so excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what'd you roll for me for?
I was so excited. I was like, a 20. He's gonna break free. No. Come on, you can do it. He's not gonna break free. You also need to roll, but like Crom, I'm gonna get you to roll, but I just need you to roll like really shitty, like really shitty.
Acrobats again?
Yeah, it's athletics or acrobatics, whichever one you want. But come on, mother trucker. Yeah, you grappled him.
I was gonna ask if there was, any visual indication that somebody has been hexed, and I was gonna see if maybe I give him disadvantage on his strength saves or whatever, but I don't think that it's necessary at this point.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, and Chrome rolled. Oh gosh, I deleted him. And then Chrome rolled also really well. So I'm like, gosh.
Oh, yeah, so he takes another 4 points of damage.
Yeah, and this time, like, as he's squaring and trying to move, you grab him again, boom, just pummel him really well. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, little one.
Matthias, stop cheering for the bad guys.
I just want a little competition, okay? It's been 3 rounds. Like, it should be a competition.
Not if one is
okay.
clearly superior.
Right. Okay, Chrome. He's gonna break through. I feel it. I'm feeling it. Okay, he rolled really well. Like, not amazing, but he rolled pretty well. What are you gonna roll? Let's see. He rolled a 17. I feel like that's pretty good.
Yep, he broke through.
The second part is like that's his turn. So like he manages to, like, as you punch him a second time and his head kind of rocks a little bit, he manages to like kind of like get onto his knees and push you off, and he uses half his movement to get up, and he's standing. And yeah, that was his turn. So now it's your turn.
Hey.
Hit him again, half orc.
Yeah, basically I'm just going to attack him this time.
Oh, you're gonna tackle him?
I think he said just attack.
Just attack.
Oh, just attack? Oh, okay. I was like, oh, we're gonna tackle him. Poor little guy. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
That hits, because it's a 10 plus 5. So that does hit.
Oh, okay.
15 is a number to beat. Like, it's 15 or higher that hits him.
Okay. Then, yeah, be another 4 points of damage.
Sweet. Man, like, he gets up and it's a little bit, like, moved, and you just, like, stalk him, like, straight in the jaw, and all you hear is, like, just his chin moves up, and you see, like, blood come out, and, like, it's on the ground. He's, like, on his last leg, but he's gonna try his hardest, and he's gonna try and attack you. Let's see if he can beat your...
Can I take more bets out on Grom? Stonks.
No, but only because by now it looks like the fight's going his way. You may lose money at this point.
No, I'll just
Okay, so he's gonna attack. You can do it. Please roll real well. He rolled a natural 1. Like, can't make this up. Anyways, yeah, so he goes to punch you, like he's rocked and looks pretty bad. And he goes to punch you, and like his hand just comes up, his eyes closed, and he just kind of like swings wide. And man, it was just so bad. Just go ahead and end it. Like, it's your turn. Part of me wants to be like, he rolled a natural one. Please roll with advantage and just take him out.
Okay.
Crumb.
Like, so do roll with advantage, but I just hope you get him. 15 or higher.
What would the advantage be? Because I'm just
You roll 2d20s and we use the highest number. Or the higher number.
I'll just take that one.
Okay, cool. Man, like he swings wide and just kind of like falls through. And as he's turning around to look at you, you just lift your leg and kick the crap out of his head. And you just see him like spin twice and fall to the ground. At which point everybody's going crazy, like crazy. And uh, and the payments come out for like all the people that bet money. So Wesley, you get 4 gold. And at which point they walk you out of your ring. And when they walk you out of your ring, you walk up to Fiona, who's also paying. Like now that she's done all the directing, she's also paying out the people, and she gives you 15 gold for your fight. And as you do this, she says, please come back again. Cedric will miss you. Uh, and, and then, Bumpy, is there anything that you would like to be doing as all of this is happening? I know, like, we just did the combat, but is there anything else you want to do?
Nah, bro, I'm cool.
Okay. And so the next round of fights happen. And as the next round of fights happen, you see Bumpy, especially like for the human and dwarf fight, like that fight gets dirty and people are going crazy. And your group is like all up about it. Like they just want the dwarf to beat the crap out of this human. And for all intents and purposes, it's a pretty good fight. Um, but the dwarf ends up winning. And
Okay,
at
rock
which
on.
point, at which point, like the guy, like with the leader of the dwarves, if you will, like he kind of like looks and just yells again, Franklin, Franklin, and a different kid, not even one of the three that looked up, like a completely different kid, dwarf, looks up and says, "Yes, sir," and he goes, another keg, we are victorious." Um, and it is around this point that the day it's kind of it's at this point it's kind of like the daylight's coming down a little bit. We spend majority of our actual day traveling and moving and tracking and everything, and with everything that's happened, the days are getting the light is going away. So it is around that 5, 6 ish time, at which point y'all can choose what to do. This could be a potential time at which y'all could, if wanted, go meet at the mess hall if y'all want, or continue exploring on your own. So this is kind of for everybody to choose what they want to do.
If it's that time to meet back up, I'll just go back.
Yeah, it's dinner time, so it'd be natural for us to meet in the mess hall.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. I didn't know if there was anything else that y'all wanted to do, so that's why I was that's what I was asking. All right. At which point, as the day kind of goes by and things move down and calm down, you can tell that the energy of the raid that happened the night before is kind of dying down, and people are feeling very tired from doing all these activities at night. So a lot of like as it's getting past this time, people are eating and going to bed, and the camp is definitely dying down. And at this point, nobody's really asking questions as to why 4 different raced individuals would be there, especially since Crom won his fight, and people have been congratulating you all day, and Crom. So,
For me,
and so it's at this point that you start looking around and you see your compatriots. You see Bumpy and Acer, and even Greg. comes around. And you sit down at this table. I mean, it's up to y'all how things go.
I mean, you saw what I did today.
Yeah, that was a pretty good fight, actually. Well done.
But unfortunately, I didn't gather any information as a result of. But I think the reason why I partook in the fight was to try to, I don't know, make a name for myself to where I might be more accepted and be in those type of conversations.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. That why would you hold a fight, like unless they're really done for a while? Like, why would you hold a fight of your people, even though it's staged and it's just fist? Like, why would you take the chance on some of your people getting injured unless maybe you're looking for someone to do something specific?
No, I mean, our race, we're constantly battling anyways, so it's just natural for us to fight each other. But I thought it was an advantage of me getting some ends with some of these other groups that otherwise I would never have it in with.
Yeah, that's a good point. They've got the logistics here locked up tight. They're not sharing anything willingly.
Yeah, since the fight, I've had all the races, come up to me congratulating me and stuff. So, hopefully in the long run this pays out.
That paid me out pretty well. I can't lie.
Yeah, I made a little coin myself, so.
At which point, Greg kind of like sits, like it's listening to all of this and says, "Well, I am very glad that we were able, like y'all were able to have fruitful afternoons." And he
Where have you
looks
been?
around to make sure nobody's, like he looks around trying to make sure that nobody's listening and says, like, "I think I found Leosin."
You know,
And go ahead.
when he says that, I'm gonna say that, hey, look, I saw up by their little archery setup, there was like a little captive's pen, and there was a guy like crucified up there.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. I think that's Leosin. I think that he's the one that's in the big cross, in the big not necessarily a cross, but it's kind of like an X post. Um, and he says, I think that we may be able to talk to him later this afternoon, or like later in the night if we're able to sneak past and get to it. I don't know if y'all would be interested in doing something like that. It may be dangerous, but we may be able to get to him.
Sounds smart.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I think the only problem is that I don't know. I'm not sure what would happen if we do get caught. So that may be something that we need to maybe potentially talk about a little bit more. At which point you hear, and I changed the map by mistake, but it's already happening because we were gonna get to here anyways. At which point you start seeing, and I know like the picture doesn't like do it justice or anything to like what all has happened, but like as y'all are talking about this and discussing these plans, you hear a very loud booming voice of a woman carry through the camp and say, "My children, my acolytes, my followers, we have finally captured one of the people who have been chasing us." And this is booming through the entire camp. What do y'all choose to do?
We should go look and see who that is, I guess, huh?
Yeah, go investigate.
Okay. And so as you start making your way there, it's like the people who were already laying down and kind of like going to sleep because they were tired, like they're not even moving. But there is a big-ish group of people who are kind of like funneling towards the top area where Bumpy mentioned, like where the archery setup was and all the people are there, and you see this person right there, like with the hands and the pauldrons and the claws, um, and this particular person, they are wearing some different levels of purple. So I know the picture is all black, but like they're wearing more purple. Where like the robe is purple and they have the purple pauldrons, especially like the claw that you see there, like that is completely purple. Um, and she says, "We have finally found him and capture him," and then like picks up the head of this elf that you can now make up in like little cross and says, "Leosin the elf, what say you for what you have been chasing us for so long? What say you about it, and how would you prefer to die?" Uh, at which point you have made it to the place where you can actually hear like this person uh, talk, and you can actually hear Leosin speak, and he looks tired, beat up, but not dead or anything. He just looks beat up, and with a lot of conviction, he looks her straight in the eyes and says, come now, Lyra. You know you can't kill me, not until your masters wish for that, and that's not happening. So am I scared of you? Not at all. Have I been chasing you? We already know it. That is why I'm here. And like he pulls from the restraints a little bit and nothing happens. Um, and you see Lyra turn around and smack the crap out of him, punch him in the gut a couple of times, and uh, and you can see like some of the people like look, not I say people, but some of like the people in the like the different races who actually walked with y'all are kind of like losing faith at the fact that Leo Singh is being so outspoken, and they're not killing him. Uh, and like he spits out a little bit, like a little blood and everything, and she puts a knife kind of like to his chest and draws like a long cut like along his chest and says, "Maybe killing you too fast will be a problem. You don't know what my masters want, you coward. I can do whatever I want at this moment," and slices the other direction, making like a big cross across his chest, and says, "But you've been a thorn in our side for so long. We're gonna savor every second of this while we take all the precious information you have been holding. This will be marvelous." And as she laughs, you see from the shadows behind this, a couple of people step up and sorry, I wanted y'all to see this little section, and we're gonna go back to the camp real quick, just to give y'all an idea of what that scene looked like. And so from I'm gonna draw a little star. So kind of like here from behind the shadows, like where I put that star near the captives, you see a couple of people walk out. One of them is a female dressed up on all purple, and she has a halberd across her back. More specifically, let me make sure that I can give you her right information. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so you see this human. She has short hair, all purple armor, a halberd across her back. Um, Kind of like walk by, and with a crooked smile on her face, just savoring this moment. And you see right behind her, a so we fought the blue half dragon. Do y'all remember, right? So behind this woman, as this woman's walking past, behind her there's a black half dragon, dressed up fully in purple, and just kind of chasing and looking at Leosin, and he kind of as he walks by, he kind of moves like makes it seem like, oh, this is gonna be delicious, and he walks by, and as they kind of turn around and start walking into what you see was the farthest part of the camp, Acer, you know this is like the farthest tent. You see Landergosa Kyangrath, Wrath, whom Bumpy fought and lost to, the blue half dragon, come out and stand in front of the Iliosin and say, "This is not honorable. It makes my blood boil. But we do have our enemies. And there is much more." And at this point, everybody's looking at everything. And he just, as he's speaking, like you see kind of like the air condense around him a little bit. He says, "At this point, all we need is more. So you know your jobs. You know what we're going to do. So now we just need to do it." And he looks up and roars, and lightning just spews out of his mouth. And at this point, as you're looking, you can see Leosin. He is like at this point, he does look afraid, not just like with Lyra, and Lyra's just laughing. And Landragosa turns around and goes onto that far tent, following the woman and the black half dragon. And at this point, after all of that, Lyra looks and says, "You heard the man. Now go back, take a rest, because we're moving out in the morning." And people disperse. Sorry.
Do they disperse completely around from where Leosin is, or is there a small group that is hanging around him?
There is a small group of guards around here. They're not leaving the captives completely unattended, but they are moving, like they're moving around, and most of the crowd is dispersing. Yes, but there's a small group of like guards, you could assume.
Do we think it'd be a good idea to go up to Leosin and try to get information out of him in the guise of taunting him?
What kind of information would you be looking for?
I don't know. He's obviously chasing them for something, and maybe he knows something that would help us, because, I mean, from an over-the-table point, I feel like we were given a quest to come save him, and unless that's just a really big hook, I feel like there's got to be a reason why.
I guess they're hoping that he has some intelligence. He seems like their local spy or something.
Well, I think Soren Black Clay Cape person, Soren,
Yeah, it's
whatever.
his master, right?
Yeah, he mentioned that he would have what was it?
Blackwood.
Yeah, Soren Blackwood. Sorry, I should look at my own names. Yeah. He mentioned that he would have some sort of information or something that would be helpful to like our cause in general. I just don't know if we would be able to get that out of him in the form of making fun of him. Maybe he could recognize Gray, though, since he's seen him a couple times. Maybe he would get, if we get him like a little quick wink or something.
Maybe we could slip him a small knife or a blade where he could cut himself loose and run away.
How would we get that to him without the guards noticing?
Well, if all of us go up there together, and like you're saying, trying to get information out of him, it's easier to slip him a knife than to sit there and interrogate him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could act like you're punching him in the gut, fake hit like they do in the WWF.
That's true. We could also tell the guards that, it's our turn for the shift.
Hey, that's not a bad idea either.
Yeah, we could.
That's a really good idea, actually. I love that.
Well, let's try that then if y'all are good with it.
Yeah, I think that's really smart.
Hey, awesome. So you walk up to this group of there's about 4 guards there. So, and by about 4 guards, I mean there are 4 guards. So there are 4 guards overseeing. It's about 15 people that are in here, like with the captives. Or no, sorry, it's I said 15, but I was looking at my notes wrong. I'm sorry. It's about 5 people plus Leosin that are being seen in the captives.
Do we recognize any of the others as people of importance, or just no?
No, you don't recognize them, but it is. They don't seem disheveled or like they've been traveling with this group long. So you can safely assume that they would be the people from Greenwich.
Okay. So then we'll walk up to the guards.
Okay.
If there's no other people like around there, we'll walk up to the guards. There's 4 of them and there's 4 of us, which kind of works out perfectly. And whoever looks the most in charge, I'll say, "Hey guys, shift change this time. We're here to replace you."
Go ahead and roll. Is everybody helping with this lie?
I can't think of a way in which I could help the lie.
Okay.
Okay, I've got an idea. Yeah, I'll say, hurry up and get. I can't stand being around these damn elves, but it's the only way I can get paid.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Chrome, are you saying something too or no?
Oh no.
Okay. Sounds good. Acer, go ahead and roll. It's either persuasion or deception, whichever one you choose.
Do I think that I'd get more mileage, so to speak, out of one versus the other?
No, that's up to you. Like, you're doing 2 things here, so I'm letting you choose. You're persuading these people that you're the shift change, but you're also lying about being the shift change. So I'm letting you choose whichever one you want. And I think you get advantage because of Bumpy's help. Yeah.
Then I will do that again. What was that? Is that a
Don't
persuasion?
roll charisma with advantage. Don't take the 16 because I hadn't finished doing bonuses and stuff in my head.
I just did a charisma roll.
Yeah. Do that.
I mean, like, I did a persuasion skill check roll in my character sheet. So the 16 would be the end number for that. Or
Okay.
a 17.
Okay, hold on. So you say this, and Bumpy, you're kind of terse or something about them leaving. They kind of look at each other a little confused. Like, and one of them kind of walks up and like walks in front of the rest and says, "Shift change. I thought that would come in a few hours." He doesn't seem like he's not accusing you. He just seems like thoroughly confused.
We're being punished for losing some of the slaves earlier.
And then they look at each other, and you see him say, "Huh? So y'all are the ones who lost some people." And he looks at you and says, "Tell you what, we'll do this weird shift change, but cost you."
Well, I'll
2
flip
gold
him a coin
pieces.
and I'll be like, go get yourself something to drink and get out of here so I can finish this shift with this stupid elf.
I'll just look there helpless.
What kind of coin did you
Gold piece.
like flick him? A gold piece, man. They take it and go.
Yeah, get them the fuck out of there, man.
That was good.
Yeah, they do. Like they like you see him like the gold goes flying. They don't even hear your sentence. One snatches it up on the air and says, "Let's go party, boys," and they just kind of like take off.
And before you said that, I was like, maybe if I pay them a gold and tell them like, we were on latrine duty. We just want this one. It's just easier, please. Just take the gold and go.
I just thought I would use his ugly personality to good effect.
That was I like it.
Yeah,
So-
that was well done.
But he's gonna give
All
you
right.
like a little tongue in cheek giggle as soon as those guys walk away, as giggle as a dwarf can get.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's perfect. Again, so these guys go and leave. Shift change has happened, so they just go. So y'all are here with the captives.
So
How many
there's,
captives are there, bro?
I think you said 6
there's
total.
5 people plus Leosin, so 6 total.
Okay.
Oh, there's no one around. We can basically talk freely with Leosin. Is that right?
Really is a very loose term. I would not yell or speak very, very loudly, but yes, you may talk to Leos.
So
Hey.
can I make a suggestion to you, Acer?
Of course.
Put a handkerchief or something around your mouth so nobody can read your lips, and then stand with your back to Leosin and talk to him that way.
Oh, yeah, I would absolutely do that.
That way nobody can tell what the fuck's happening.
For sure, yeah.
Well, now that you have blocked all of my avenues to see what y'all are doing.
Absolutely, man. They got wizards and shit.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. So, you see Gray, and he's gonna be like, "Hey, I have an idea," and he's gonna like kind of like say, "Just cover, make it seem like there's a 4th person here," and just kind of like walks off for a little bit, and you see him, like he's gonna walk away from, like I'm the way that we're having this conversation. I'm picturing Acer, you're gonna be talking to Leos, and Bumpy, you're gonna be like right next, like closest to Acer, then Crom. That's how I'm picturing things. Does that sound okay?
Uh-huh.
We could move it on the
Okay.
map.
I was about to say, just
If
position
thank
us on the map.
Make us easier.
Thanks. Okay, so oh god, don't move the mess hall bar, I guess. Okay, so Acer, Bumpy, and then I was picturing Crom around here. That's how I was picturing things. But y'all feel free to move in any way, shape, or form that you would like to move.
Okay.
Like within that general area.
Got you.
We'll say that he's about here, maybe. And what you hear, Crom, is as Gray is moving away, he says, "Hey, give me a second. I have a plan to try and get these people out of here. So just hold off."
Roger.
And he kind of starts walking away.
Well, then,
All right.
as soon as the coast is clear and we're facing away and stuff, I'll tell Leosin that we're from Greenest and that Soren sent us. That we came to see, what he knows and maybe help him. It looks like he could use some help.
Okay. When you say that, he kind of looks at you, says, "I don't trust you people. I don't even know who you are. There's no way Soren, and he doesn't even say Soren. He just says, there's no way Rowan survived the attack."
He says Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell him that we don't know a Rowan, but we know a Soren. And that him and Governor Nighthill, they were telling us basically to come find you. Soren Blackwood says he's your apprentice. Look, buddy, we're here to help, and we've been traveling a lot. This would be really easy, or a lot better for all of us if we could help each other.
Okay, hold on 1 second. 1 second.
That's fair enough. I mean, but
Listen, homie, like we're
I
here,
mean,
we're
you can
here.
sit here and continue to get cut up, or you can come with us and be cool.
Right.
Right. So he looks you up and down and says, "Fine. Uh, if you can get me out of here, I'll tell you everything I know."
I'll say, how long have you been captive here, and have you noticed any ways in which you think it might be the best to escape? You know, a prisoner, all they have is time, right?
So you're telling me that aside from being hurt, punched, and kicked, I was supposed to plan my own escape?
I didn't say that. I just said if there was anything you knew. I've got a plan to get you out, but we'll have to wait till nighttime. Are you?
It is nighttime, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So, like, it is by now, like later into the night when they gave the speech and everything. I probably miss saying that. But he says, no, I was captured in Greenup, like you said. Stupid of me. But honestly, the biggest issue is not what's happening right now to me. The biggest issue is what they have on the cave up the mountain, like a mile and a half up the mountain. That's what I really wanted to go look into.
What's in the cave?
Your question is as great as mine. Like, I don't know. I've just been following these guys for a little bit. I have some information, and I can't tell you everything I know at this point. Not because I don't want to, but because I really want to get out of here.
Okay. What
But I can
happens
tell you that
if you die and then we don't have the information? Or conversely,
Are you saying you're gonna kill me?
no. I'm trying to keep you from being killed. At that, I'll like covertly. Well, I don't know if I could covertly drop a healing potion and like kind of nudge it to him, kick it to him a little bit. Is there any way I think I could get him a healing potion that he'd be able to take?
I mean, I don't think he can take it. The way that he's tied up.
Okay.
But at which point, you see Gray come up to you, and he has like a bunch of cloaks in his hands, like what they look like the cultist cloaks. He says, "Crom, I think we should start putting these on the like let the captives go and put them on this cloak so they can just sneak away. Nobody will question. Like they don't know who they are. We just have to get them out of here."
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, do we think we've gotten all the information that Leoson's gonna give us?
Or are you asking us?
I guess, yeah, that's a general question. Maybe over the table.
Man, we got to try to figure a way to get these guys out of here, man.
Well, I think we wait for kind of the early part of middle of night, if that makes sense. Like 12 p.m. or 12 a.m., I guess it would be.
Man, do we need to like create a diversion or something on the other side of the camp?
We could set
Like an
some fire
explosion to get
somewhere.
Yeah, set a fucking fire somewhere. You know, like in the opposite direction of where we're trying to escape to. Because I guess I'm seeing two exits, but that exit that's east, that's going up at the top of the screen. I can't tell what's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it seems like
that's where Leosing was. That's it. That's where Leosing was pointing at the cave. So going up takes you like into that cave he was telling you about.
Okay, is that where he was saying he wanted to go?
That's where he's saying he wants to investigate that area.
Okay, so if we try to free these other prisoners, they would have to come with us at the same time and explore a cave.
Which I don't want to be responsible for a bunch of other people.
I think what we
No.
do is we wait for a good part of night, give them cloaks, cut them free. Somebody goes and sets a fire at, like, the mess hall, because nobody wants the fucking mess hall to burn down.
And it would make sense that that's the one place there would be a fire accidentally.
Yeah. And while that's happening, they could sneak out and we could sneak further up, because whenever I tried to get there earlier, I got stopped for not having the correct colors on.
Gotcha.
And then Gray will look and say, "Hey, they're moving out of here tomorrow. We can explore the cave once they're gone. We don't have to do it like." My worry is that if we go to the cave now and we cause ruckus in the cave, then we get sandwiched with whatever's in the cave plus whatever comes up to investigate what we did in the cave.
Yeah, we get trapped.
But are they going to leave tomorrow if they look and see that all their damn prisoners are missing?
Good
Or
point.
are they going to stick around and look for us?
Good point, yeah.
Like, at least someone would stay back and look for him. He seems pretty important. Important enough for 2 half-dragons and some fully purpled sadistic lady to be coming out and fighting over him.
It's true.
We could sneak into the cave, or sneak in quotes, and take a look around and see. Maybe there's not a whole lot of important stuff there.
Maybe we should investigate it without him and then come back and rescue him once we've investigated the cave. Like, maybe he can kind of tell us what he's looking for, and, Stealthy Smurf can go in there and look for it.
Oh, we can leave a blade with him, like you were saying. So at least,
that way,
if we take too long, he could just go.
Yeah, he can cut himself loose or something.
We could put, like, the cultist robes, somewhere around this area. They could all gather into them.
Because you're talking about, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, wanting to help them escape when everyone's sleepiest, right?
I was thinking more like 12 a.m. Like, people are definitely asleep. I mean, it's not going to be as ideal as 3, 4 a.m. Because we would need to sleep.
I have to disagree, man.
Yeah,
at midnight,
that's fine.
Partiers, they're still partying. At 3 a.m., not so much.
I'll defer to your wisdom in this, wise Bumpy.
Oh, well, Bumpy does have a long history of drinking, so.
Okay.
I think it's smart to leave them a knife, because by then a replacement for the guard shift might show up. And if they see the replacement guards coming up to replace us, they can cut themselves loose and book it. But if our replacements haven't shown up, then a couple of us could go inside that cave, look for whatever it is Leosin wants, and then we could come back and cut them loose then. That late at night when everyone's still groggy thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's do that.
Do you think one of us should stay here? Or do you think that we should all go to that cave?
Well,
the more that goes, the bigger chance of something going wrong.
Well, that's what I was
getting
thinking.
spotted.
I think that I agree with you, because if we're loud in there, if we even get into one fight, it's going to alert everyone in the camp. So it's really a clandestine operation in that cave to try to avoid all fights, correct?
Yeah.
And I mean, as much as I hate to say this, because I want to go, I'm loud, and I rolled stealth at disadvantage, so maybe I should stay on guard duty.
Okay.
So, how about we do this? I think out of like sneaky people, and please, like, this is Gray saying this, by the way. So why don't we do this so we can get everything together? I'll go investigate the cave, and I'll report back, since I seem to be the quietest out of our group.
Yeah, and talk to Leosin and see what in the heck he wants.
Right,
Like,
but and what we do is, so I'll talk to Leos and see what's up. We'll go we'll go to the cave if we need to, or I'll go investigate the cave, and it'll be up to y'all, like to you guys, to figure out how to bribe the next guard into not taking their post, so that you could stay here past that guard, and then let all the like everybody free if you need to.
I think the next
Or is
guard.
that not a
I think
right? Like the next. And at which point, like as we're having this conversation near Leosin, Leosin says, "It's okay. I can." Like Leosin just looks says, "I can get myself free if you give me a small blade."
can you get these
They're
other
not
people
gonna
free as well?
say it one more time.
Can you get these other people free as well?
I think that may be a little bit more difficult on, but you can let them go. I've been following this group for a little bit. I can't tell you about the specifics. I can't tell you about what each individual leader is going to do.
Okay, so here's.
It has been
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. That was rude.
no. It's okay. And Leosin will just say, it's been the way I've seen things. They're just attacking different places and moving on. Any captives that they have, they send them somewhere else to work. I don't know where. They're not gonna hold their plans for 6 people going missing. But you are right. They might do it for me. So if you give me a blade, I can get myself free whenever I see the opportunity next. But I don't think they're gonna hold their entire operation for 6 people that don't matter.
So what do you think about this? So I can cut each of y'all's binds, and you can just hold the cut portion of the rope in your hand in a fist. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That way you can just pull your hand free at any given moment, but it still looks like you're bound.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do that for each of you. That way y'all can escape whenever you're ready. And it looks like Acer here has already left you some cloaks to where you can try to disguise yourself and sneak on out. Does that work for you?
Are you telling that to Leosin or the people?
I'm telling that to right now to Leosin and to Acer.
sounds good to me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Leosin's okay with that. Yeah, he'd be okay with that. He
Well,
needs the information more. He says, "Go ahead."
Well, then I'm going to quietly go around to each of these captives and cut their bindings, but to where they can hold the cut part of the rope in their hand and escape whenever they're ready.
Okay.
And I'll tell to the other captives. I'll say, you guys don't even have names in this story, so they probably won't hesitate to torture and then kill you for any information if they find out that you're still here and Leosin's gone. So take that with
If they
your
don't
own.
have names.
Take that with your own grain of salt, I guess.
Okay. Uh, yeah. That's. I mean, I think that's fine. Leosin says.
Okay, so what are they looking for in that cave, Leosin?
So sorry. Like, give me 1 second to
Sure.
to figure out what the key points are.
No sweat, man.
So, as far as we know, there is no dragon. Like, this group seems to be centered about what they call the Dragon Queen. We don't know who or what a Dragon Queen is. We have never heard of a Queen of the Dragons. Um, so that is something that my apprentices are searching into. But whatever it is, these people are looking for the most sizable hoard of gold that I've ever even seen. They've attacked multiple towns, they've attacked multiple cities, and it is my belief that whatever they're doing with that sizable collection of gold or everything is connected in some way to that cave. Whether that is they have a way to transport it or a way to move it or anything. I believe there's connections up there.
So you think this is some sort of
Moreover,
hoard of the Dragon Queen?
So there's something in there we need to go have a look at. I see what you're saying.
and he says, moreover than that, there are three leaders, the ones that you saw, and wearing the full purple. They're gonna be in that cave or close to that cave. You don't put the leaders protecting something that means nothing to you.
Okay, well, it's what's the camp scene like right now? Is it still pretty loud and everything, dude? We still got traffic.
Uh, Most of the loudness is coming off of the meth hall.
Okay, so is there any traffic around us? Like, does it look like there might be a path for these dudes to book on out this camp, like now?
I think they could, yeah. Like they're yes.
Okay, well look, let's just get them the hell out of here now then.
Yeah.
And that might just be the diversion we need, is them realizing all the prisoners are gone. And that way Leosin can come with us, whatever, we'll go in that cave, we'll find a back exit out that cave or something. What do y'all think about that, or is that too risky?
I think letting I think hmm, the two options are, and this is like me trying to condense the options. This is not like specifically role playing anything, but I think the options are we either A, let go the captives now, and either we go with them and come back another day, either if it's the next day or the one after, or we let go the captives and we go to the cave, right? Like those are the two options that we have.
Yep.
Am I summarizing the
And
options correctly?
if we wait for another round of guards to come by, we might not be so lucky in persuading them to go away. It's going to look really weird that we did two full shifts back to back. Like, I can't
Yeah.
come up with a good lie for that.
Well, no, sorry. Like I was just trying to condense the options. So I was thinking like
I understand.
if we leave them now, we leave with them and then come back like after they're gone the next day, right?
No, bro,
Like I think
what I'm saying is we cut them loose and say, hey, get the hell out of here. You're on your own.
I see.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, it's kind
they're
of
going
what
to
I'm
be
thinking
highly
too.
motivated to get the heck out of there. And
Okay.
we don't have to follow them out. Like, I mean, these are grown folks, right?
Yeah.
Dare to get themselves captured once. I mean, no, I'm kidding.
I mean, they go, just tell them to. I mean, they've lived around Greenest most of their life. They probably know this area at least well enough to get home.
Yeah.
That's kind of what was in my mind.
Well,
Okay.
the issue with releasing the captives and then us going up into the cave is if the captives get caught, they're gonna know someone, cut them loose, and then the manhunt's going to be on to try to find out who it is, and it could potentially put us in a trap.
Well, at that point, it would be on the guys that we took their shift from. They're not supposed to give up their shift. This is on them. This is Henchman 101. This is the stuff they warn you about.
Henchman 101, bro.
They should have taken their security training more seriously every year when it comes around.
Well, look, I'd convince those mountain dwarfs to get good and sloppy drunk. So
Oh yeah.
those would be an easy group to slip by. Now, I
Yeah.
saw that there were a bunch of orcs down there. I don't know how easy those guys would be to slip by. They seem pretty shrewd. Like, they're not dumb. But I guess we should stay away from that mess area because that seems to be where most of the noise is coming from.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go and start a fire in the mess hall?
I think it would give this group time to escape.
Great.
Y'all go to the cave. I'll go start a fire in the mess hall so this group can escape. I can't leave them to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
And then maybe Leosin can go
I
with you
think
guys, and then the rest of these five can escape out the gate under the cover of those cloaks after that fire started.
Leosin is gonna like Leosin to that. He's gonna say a couple things. He's gonna say, "I don't think I'm in any shape to go into that cave. I don't think I will make it out of that cave if
Oh,
anything
drink that healing
happens."
potion Acer is trying to give you, man.
Um, um, even if I drink the healing potion, I don't think I'm the best candidate to go.
Well, you were going to go explore it earlier. That's why you're here, right? So what changed?
Oh no, I know. Like I'm not like I was not gonna like he's tied up and he's like I wasn't gonna explore. I don't have a way out at this moment, so I wasn't gonna explore. I'm just saying like once I knew you had talked to Soren, I wanted y'all to go explore because I know there's information there.
Oh,
I don't
I
think
got you.
I, I don't think me myself could have gone there at this particular moment.
Completely understand.
However,
Do you feel comfortable leading
I
these people out of here?
I think that that's the best thing. I will lead these people. Y'all can go into the cave.
Outstanding.
Don't start a fire on the mess hall because it may like while it will create a diversion, it may wake up more people than we want.
Okay.
I think that like that's his input. He says, "I will lead these people." Like he will lead the people, and his input is, "I don't think we should create a fire because it'll wake up more people than are needed to be awake at this particular
Oh,
moment." How do y'all feel about that?
so you feel like you can get them out of here without a diversion? I mean, you're a spy.
I
I'm
think
gonna trust you if you tell me you can do it.
I think I can do it with the cloaks and the time given to me. I think we can do this.
So when do you
We'll
want
just
to do
do.
it?
And he's gonna look around. He's gonna say, like, we can go now.
Okay, let's go now. What do y'all think, guys? I don't want to do it
Let's do it.
without your consent.
The dwarves are
Hashtag
the
me too.
sloppy drunkest, so let's stick by them and we'll go into the cave.
Okay, you got it, dude.
All right.
All right, y'all get the hell out of here, man.
So you see Leosin. He lets go of the ropes that Bumpy had already cut. He puts a coat and one of the cultist cloaks atop himself. And please hold. He looks at Bumpy. He looks at you and says, "Listen, I have a friend." Uh, and I'll put it here on the chat so you can see. Hold on. Right, he says, "I have a friend in the city of El Terrell, and his name is Omtar. Whatever you find, you go to the city of El Terrell and you will find him there. Let him know what happened."
Hey, does he have like a specific code word or phrase we can use for him to instantly trust us and know that Leosin sent him so we don't have to go through this? No, trust me, bro. I'm here to help. Rigmarole that we had to go through with you.
So
Yeah,
our
he gives
safe
you a
word was
pin.
pineapple before, man.
He gives you a pin, and this pin that he gives you, like he looks into like his pockets and everything, and nobody else would have paid any attention to this thing, but when he pulls it out, he gives it to you, Acer, and the pin is like a half moon with a harp in the middle, and it's made out of like all silver with a couple of stars around it. And he gives you that, and he says, if you show that to Onthar, he'll know who like he can trust you.
Would I recognize this pin for what it is?
No,
Okay.
no, because
We've
and
left
so
Harper's, man.
yeah, like so, like about like like above table, it's a pin of the Harpers, and your character did not grow up in a society where the Harpers are already secretive, and you did not grow up in a society where they like you would have known of them.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you wouldn't have recognized it now. Um, but he gives you that and says, "You tell Anthar," and like you show him that, and he'll know it comes from me. And with that, He grabs all the people up. He puts cloaks on all of them. They move a little bit, like they all of them kind of moved a little bit south to a group to where you can see there were some more straw and cloaks and pillows and different things, and they're kind of like stuffing themselves to make themselves look different. So by the time you see them start heading west, which is the south version of this map, you see like a completely different Leos. Like you cannot even recognize Leosin because of like all the little straw and things that he's put in himself. So they all look very different. They have even grabbed a couple of swords and daggers so that if people like if anything happens, they can just say that. Um, and they are on their way west.
Cool.
Uh,
I like it.
and with that, we're gonna call it a night because the next section is a big section. If we get into it, we're not gonna finish.
Got you, man.
Like if we start that, we're not gonna finish it tonight. Everybody's gonna like it's gonna be like 4 in the morning, and we're gonna still go like keep going. So that's we're gonna take a break tonight. Um, yeah, and we will be exploring the cave.
Outstanding, gentlemen.
Sounds good.